And we're back early this week for week 9 of No Slugger Left Behind, the NSLB. It's going to be a fun one. We've got, after this week, every team going to have played 8. Everybody will have gotten their buys, and we're going to take some time tonight, part of the reason we're starting early, to talk with all of the owners about how it's been going. But one owner who is here, as always, is Iris, owner of the Mario Fireballs, my co-commissioner, co-commentator. How you doing tonight, Iris?
I'm doing great. Really excited to close out the first half of the season. Uh, we've seen some incredible baseball thus far. We've seen some crazy surprises from huge upset victories to multiple ties by the same team. You never know quite where you're going to get here at No Slugger Left Behind, and that's just the way we like it.
Yeah, kind of hard to believe we're halfway done already, and the back's going to go even faster without holidays to slow us down. But for those of you not aware, here's what we're looking at so far, standings-wise. Luigi Knights still on top, unfortunately no longer undefeated. But hey, 6-1 after 7 games, you're never mad, right? And the run differential always helps, but catching up, of course, Mario Fireballs, 5-1-1 right behind him. Bowser Jr. Rookies now a winning team, 4-3. Bows 3-3-1 right behind them. We're really looking to beat the Flowers last week, but if there's one team that knows how to tie, apparently it's the Daisy Flowers. Wario Muscles 3-4. DK Wilds 3-4. Muscles have the head-to-head. Run differential will only be coming in afterwards. Daisy Flowers 2-3-2. Kind of a weird record to be analyzing. Bowser Monsters sitting at a tough 3-5, but honestly, that's not that far behind. You know, they win the next 2, they could be right back to the middle of the pack. Peach Monarchs at 1-6, though, definitely have more of a hill to climb.
Yeah, absolutely. I I think it does just show how competitive this league is. That the aside from the last place team, uh, every team, one or two games can bring them right back into this.
Yeah, it's a tight race, and in this tight race, we've been keeping enough stats that I can actually show you guys some interesting stuff. I think this works. Yes. So, after 7 games for all of these players, actually, Monster's the only ones who have played a full 8 games coming into this week. They have the bye tonight. I can show you some of our top stats. Batting average, I've got the top 11 on screen here because there is a tie for 10th. Number one batter right now, batting 750, getting on base 3/4 of the time. Red Pianta for the Birdo Bows. Not far behind him, Yellow Toad for the Daisy Flowers. Blue Drybones for the Monarchs. I'm surprised to see uh, the only Drybones that high up. We do have one more on this list, all the way down there. I'll get to him. But yeah, Drybones famously excellent hitters, and the Toads also, of course, Purple Toad, 696. Boomerang Bro, the only fireball on this list, batting 690. Probably slugging a fair bit better. I didn't make a graphic for that. Waluigi, Wiggler, Wario, all 2 for 3. King K. Rule, 640. And Brown Critter, Darkbones tied at 615. These are the kind of stats you would not be expecting to hear anybody talking about batting averages. But it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I think we have very few who are 200 or below. There definitely are a couple, but you're really expecting an average between 300 and 400 for most players here. So to see so many still getting on base more than 60% of the time, it's pretty impressive, and they've done some pretty impressive things. As I pull up here, we have the home run leaders, RBI leaders. K. Rule topping the list for home runs at 7 so far. That's an average of 1 per game, not counting tonight. Donkey Kong Bowser at 6, not far behind. Brown and Blue Critter at 4 apiece. RBIs looking somewhat similar. Donkey Kong, Bowser, K. Rule. Not in that same order as they are for home runs, but again, all massive plate threats. Red Critter for the Fireballs has batted in quite a few himself. And Petey Piranha, chosen first player picked, has not impressed me on the home run count. I must admit, I was hoping for more. But you know what? He knows how to get people across the base. Maybe it's not flashy, but it doesn't need to be 12 RBIs on 7 games. You're never unhappy.
Yeah, absolutely. Petey Piranha, of course, being an incredible glove as well.
Yeah, that shortstop position is really what I think brings him to the top of the list. Not pictured here because I didn't have space to fit it in, but I will also bring up ERA, some of our best pitchers in the league. And you might be wondering why I want to bring that up. Well, you're not going to tell you that of pitchers who have pitched at least 1 inning for every game, so you're looking at least 7, 8 innings pitched. Number one, me, somehow. It's the only time I've ever won anything. 0.0 ERA. But I don't have to give up much because Wiggler, pitching now for the Birdo Bows, part of the regular starting rotation for them, used to be a Peach Monarch. 0.84 ERA. Luigi gave up a couple to the rookies last week, bringing him up to 1.35. Red Magic Koopa for the Fireballs, 2.37. Waluigi for the Muscles, 2.67. And just outside of the top 5, Yellow Magic Koopa for the Flowers, pitching 2.68 ERA. I believe these are the only pitchers under 3. For a 7-inning game, definitely some pretty impressive defense we've seen from a couple teams here.
Yeah, and it's important to remind our viewers that this is in a league where just about nearly every player is hitting at least 300. Some of them are hitting over 600. So being able to limit runs in an environment like that is quite a feat, really.
Yeah, it's wild. It's exciting. It's the kind of thing that real baseball just doesn't offer, particularly not when there's 3 feet of snow on the ground and it's January. So we are more than happy to be here and enjoying what we can. But that's the standings all looked at. Why don't I talk about the games? We've got 4 of them tonight. Real barn burners, everyone. First one, gonna have the princesses duke it out. Daisy Flowers going to the Ice Garden for the Peach Monarchs. Daisy Flowers roughly unchanged here, not changed at all from last week, in fact. Monty Mole, catcher, starting off, has not been batting amazingly lately. You're really hoping to see him get back to where he was start of the season. Pitcher Daisy, left fielder Yellowtoad, center fielder Rhiannon, Blue Critter on third, getting the star again this week. Last week his first with the star, and well, they didn't lose, so that's got to count for something. Right fielder Yellow Yoshi, shortstop Yellow Magic Koopa, second baseman Green Paratroopa, first baseman Blooper bringing up the rear. Flowers at 2, 3, and 2. I couldn't even begin to tell you which way this game's gonna go, but it's gonna be interesting.
I'll admit I'm kind of pulling for the Flowers here just because I would love to see this team achieve peak mid. I would really love to see a final record of 3, 3, and 10 personally. But in order to do that, they're going to have to pull off a win against the currently last place by a good bit team, but still capable of pulling out a win in the Peach Monarchs. We've got Blue Dry Bones leading off at catcher. Toadette is going to be receiving the star over in right field. Blue Peons is manning third base. Pink Yoshi in left field, Zach himself in center, Funky Kong, the archetypical first baseman, Peach is going to be over at second, Gray Shy Guy at shortstop, and Toadsworth taking the mound. This is a team who, you know, not a ton of star power aside from Funky Kong, who is able to show up in some massive spots. Although we'll see how much that really happens here on Peach Gardens, which is just an absolutely enormous stadium. So we're hoping for some shenanigans. We're hoping for some triples. No matter which team you're rooting for, you're not really going to see any balls go yard. And I'm really curious to see how that impacts the Daisy Flowers strategy.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I also want to call out Toadsworth getting his first rep as starting pitcher this week. Not famed for his stamina. Really curious to see how many innings he makes it deep before we need a substitution. We see a complete game out of Toadsworth, I'll eat my proverbial hat.
Yeah, in 2024, the Detroit Tigers were really the first ever MLB team to fully codify the concept of the pitching opener, wherein you have something of a relief pitcher who goes 1 to 2 innings at the start of the game, before possibly switching it up with a pitcher of different handedness later on. And I am curious to see if in the Peach Monarchs we are really seeing that strategy make its way over to the Mushroom Kingdom.
Well, only way to find out is to.
Uh,
Hmm? Go ahead.
Yep. Only way. Go on.
Only way to
Sure, you're
find
about
out
to
is
say the same thing.
by playing. So let me get this started. Do I have a literal hat to eat? No, but Iris has one there. I guess I'll eat her hat or the little pennant sticking out of my head there. As always, let me know. Uh-oh. Doesn't appear to be showing up on OBS. Why? Now, why would it go and do a thing like that? Great. All right, well, give me a minute, folks. Now I gotta make sure that everything is as it should be. Let's get into studio mode here so that you don't see me screwing around for a little bit. This has not worked. This has not had any issues previously. Maybe this one? And then if I hit play... I'm going to mute us here real quick, folks.
It's running.
Yep, I know. Game is running. So we're good. Game is moving now. And we are on the game. Sorry about that. No idea what happened. OBS was having a problem. Not having a problem. Monty Mole getting ready for a leadoff double here.
Could be a triple. Would have really had to leg it out. Not something that Monty Mole is known for. But Daisy already at the second at bat has an RBI chance, and she wants to get every last bit of that ball. Unfortunately, just doesn't really have the power behind it, and just being out to center field, Monty Mole can't really tag up and even make it to third. So just a pop fly as Yellow Toad comes up to the plate, hoping to make something happen here on a stadium that is just so deep. And that ball is unfortunately going to pull foul, but kind of exactly what you want to see in this situation.
Yeah, you mentioned Monty not tagging up. Monty's never going to tag up. But he will get home on a perfectly placed single down the first base line. That one lands.
I mean, that must have landed like directly on the line. That was crazy.
Lakitu has glasses, but I think we'd all agree he probably needs better ones. Toadsworth is going to stay in after this. His stamina not that low, but certainly that clock is ticking now, especially as Rhiannon also going to hit a double with an extra base for Yellow Toad. The throw is home. It is just in time as the close play triggers. 2-0 Flowers already.
Yeah, it's something we've seen time and time again, that playing on the ice here, expect to see it runs early and runs often. You're not going to see balls leaving the park, but you're going to see so many doubles.
Yeah, and a couple of triples. I know we talked about that here before as well. Blue Critter going to try and put one all the way over the wall, but he gets a big piece of it, doesn't keep it fair. 2 strikes, runner on second. Gonna opt for a slap hit into shallow left center. Rhiannon thinks about going for home on that, but quickly changes her mind.
And I mentioned, as we already see, Toadsworth does not manage to make it out of the first inning. Does not manage to make a second out, even.
Yep, I will be reaching out to West Zach, owner of the Monarchs here. See if we have a pitching order. I'm gonna try not to mention to them that we already need it. I saw something from them that I've never seen before. Second baseman Peach is actually listed as right shortstop in their notes.
I can see the justification, and I think in a video game like this, your middle infielders are going to be arguably somewhat interchangeable. Unlike in the real MLB, where second base is kind of generally where the failed shortstops go.
Well, what I'm hearing from West Zach is that if Toadsworth's arms are tired, then his legs better not be. He's going to right, and Toadette's pitching. Toadette has not much experience pitching for this team, has done a little bit. I don't remember the stats, but I don't think they're especially impressive, and they're not gonna be, unfortunately. Well, That one actually counts against Toadsworth, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Does let Yellow Yoshi aboard. It is 2 on, 1 out for Yellow Magic Koopa, 3-0. Monarchs really need to get out of this. We've seen them put up a 5 spot here at home before. We know they can catch up, but you still don't want to make that lead too much longer. And thankfully, with a double play from Gray Shy Guy, assist from Peach, 3 is all the Flowers are going to start with, but 3 in the first inning, this is going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if I'm not mistaken, that is going to be ballooning Toadsworth's ERA up to a cool 63. I'm not sure, because I don't think... Is this his first pitching debut, or just his first starting pitching debut?
This is his first time starting. He has pitched a bit before. I haven't got a third screen to check up on that right now, but I will.
Yeah, okay, yeah, four innings pitched, ERA of 4.50.
Yeah, that's going up. Daisy trying to keep hers from going up with 2 quick outs here, but Blue Pianta gets aboard, so it's not going to be a 1-2-3. Pink Yoshi puts a little too much on that one. Gives it straight to Rhiannon in center. Monarch's now going to have to stop Green Paratroopa, Blooper, and Monty Mole. Couple of folks coming back in here now. Hello to y'all. Patashu, August's been here. Autumn is here. Sakailes is here. Good to see all of you. Got an exciting one for you tonight. Got some exciting press conferences afterwards. Hoping to get all the owners in here. They said they'd be able to, so we'll see them later. And the Monarchs are going to see Blooper later. Quick ground out to short. 2 outs, nobody on for Monty Mole. Looking like a very different inning. Pink Yoshi, though, makes an error that lets him get another double. Is this the Monty Renaissance?
It's possible. You know, Monty showed some exciting stuff very early on in the season and cooled off a lot. So we could be seeing him, you know, the pitchers in the league have adjusted to him. We could see this being the adjustment back as Daisy hits an RBI double, sending Monty Mole home, and thinks about taking second after that weird ice block gets in the way, but thinks better of it. And for those out there who are curious, Toadsworth will be exiting this game now with an ERA of a cool 24.2, if I've done the math right.
Not the highest in this league, but certainly up there. Yellow Toad.
Now,
again,
obviously, that's
second.
not a representative sample size of anything when we do not even have a full inning's worth of games out of him.
This is true, and Yellow Toad gets aboard with a single, second best batter in this league average-wise, but Rhiannon not able to keep it going. Flower's going to put up one more. Monarchs now a full Grand Slam behind, with Zach, Funky Kong, Peach batting.
Yeah, and you know, Funky Kong, one of those few batters that is capable of hitting a Grand Slam here on Ice Garden. Can't really do that if you're batting second unless this is a hell of an inning.
Yeah, Funky Kong has struggled a little bit so far this season, though. And unfortunately, he's going to continue to struggle as he falls for Daisy's star pitch. Unless you've got a chemistry item on deck, don't swing at that.
You just gotta let it go by.
It looks so easy. You know, that's how Daisy gets you. She plays to your ego.
Yeah, now if you do have a chemistry item, you can do almost sort of like a Baltimore Chop style situation. With a ball hit very shortly in the infield that gets interrupted by some flames, or probably not a pow block because that'll still encompass the runner as well, but possible bananas as well. There are a few that can do it.
Absolutely. Half the time it's just about making sure that the fielder falls for the bait of going after the error item when it probably could just be avoided. Unfortunately, no error item means that Blue Critter is gonna fly one out deep. Yellow Yoshi gonna get on base here, though, with a single. Yellow Magic Koopa not, and Yellow Yoshi, fast as he is, can't quite get back to the bag. Flowers go scoreless for the first time this game. Hopefully that's a good omen for the Monarchs, as we get into the bottom of the third here. Hot grounder to third.
Charges one up, but with extremely low trajectory. Just hits it right to the hot corner over there at third base.
And Toadsworth, not going to do any better. He's actually a bit faster on the base paths than I thought he'd be, but not enough.
Yeah, kind of a disaster piece of a game for him so far today. As Blue Koopa Troopa wants to make something happen this inning. Not much you can do against a flower ball.
That's Blue Dry Bones.
Excuse me, yeah, Blue Dry Bones.
You're good. I was rewatching one to keep stats. I called Green Dry Bones Green Shy Guy like twice.
You know, a lot of the generic characters are can feel interchangeable at times. I'll tell you who's not interchangeable. Blooper up at the plate, you know, thankfully not able to hit into a double play, will only make one out.
Ground out to short feels like a rather interchangeable performance, however. Seen plenty of those already today. Not from Monty Mole, though, who might be going for his third straight double.
You know, you wonder if Monty Mole wouldn't consider having a career here at the Ice Garden as he hits a triple.
If you're, you heard it here first, folks. If you've got the Monarchs next season, consider Monty Mole. Daisy gonna bring him across the plate again. Another double from her. She's been having a hell of a game so far.
Or perhaps just consider getting literally any hitters because you are playing in basically Coors Field. That is the Colorado Rockies Stadium, for those who are not in the know, which, being in Denver, is a mile high up in the air, and the ball is just going to travel further when you have that really thin air up there. So it's an extremely hitter-friendly ballpark. The dimensions are extremely friendly to hitters as well. And Peach Gardens being extremely friendly to hitters is going to cause Toadette to get tired already on our third pitcher for Zach West this game.
Okay. Speaking of West Zach, I have them in my ear. Toadette going back to the outfield. You know, honestly, kind of an interesting thought here as I put them in here. The Monarchs might be the one team where you don't need outfield chemistry. If only because your time at home never going to be much of an issue. No, I'm not. Now Zach's like yelling at me in the no, look, so Toadette's going to right field, Toadsworth's going to second, Peach is on the pitch. And I'm not saying you don't need chemistry, because you will, especially if you're the away team. But I don't think we've actually seen a single buddy jump in the Ice Garden, and I don't know that we ever will. Fact of the matter is, it's just hard to get that over the wall.
Yeah, I think East Zach has mentioned this before. Or not your East Zach, Cowboy Zach has mentioned this before. You know, part of the appeal of running all of these simulations is he has figured out in certain ballparks, like namely this one, that you don't need outfield chem and instead can focus on a lineup that's a bit better defensively. You know, maybe making sure you have the best infield that you can get, that you can muster.
Yeah, it's some interesting stuff. We'll be talking to him about that a little bit later here. Blue Pianta, unfortunately, not able to move Toadette here. She is on first, one out. Pink Yoshi up to bat now in the bottom of the fourth. That's a weak grounder back to the pitcher. Yellow Magic Koopa uses his super dive, but just hangs on to it. And a quick double play, line out to Green Paratroopa at second. Monarchs just can't get anything going tonight. We've seen them...
Yeah, I mean, this is passed by quickly, but we are more than halfway through this game already.
I've mentioned it before. We've seen them come out of nowhere with a 5 spot, but they're going to have to do it pretty soon here. Blue Critter trying to get the flowers that much further ahead, but not quite going to get it over that wall. He tries. And God bless him.
Yeah, ball that would be a home run or at the very least a buddy jump in just about any other ballpark. Instead, just lands harmlessly in the left fielder's glove as Toadsworth uses every muscle in his body to try and get to that ball, but the ice, it's so slippery. His age isn't what it used to be. He just can't make it in time. Yellow Yoshi hits a single that's quickly compounded into a yellow match single. We have runners on first and second for Green Para coming up to bat.
Yeah, I forget the exact numbers.
And unfortunately, with one out already happening, you already knew it was happening. You already knew. It's a double play.
It's a double play. I always like to think of it because we get a canonical age for Toadsworth in Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. I don't remember the exact number, but he's in his late 60s out here, folks. The fact that he's playing at all... Well, you treat him like the babies, you know? The fact that he's playing at all is impressive. And the fact that Funky Kong fell for that pitch twice is also kind of impressive in all of the wrong ways. Daisy, really impressive choice of a star pitch tonight. I'm rather surprised, actually.
Yeah, I mean, her whole career, she's wanted to be a pitcher, and I think she's just showing that, you know, even if she might allow runs sometimes, you can really tell that pitch selection is something that she has put a lot of thought into, as she beautifully tosses a pitch that gets hit into a double play, makes it out of another scoreless inning.
Top of the 6th here, Flowers trying to keep chipping away at things. They will get their win tonight to go to perfect 500, 3-3-2 at this pace, but don't count anybody out quite yet.
Yeah, and you know, I expect it to change after tonight, but funny enough, right now, win rate of 500 is good enough to get you into the playoffs. With, I believe the last playoff spot is currently held by the Birdo Bows.
Yes, top 4. Gray Shy Guy makes a good dive for that at short, by the way. Manages to pull a double play, trying to prevent this lead from getting any bigger. Daisy's done pretty well today so far, though, and Pink Yoshi just can't get to that one up the third base line. It's going to be another double for her. I don't know if she's hit anything else tonight.
Now, I don't want to speak too soon, but if we see a complete game shutout out of her, along with her efforts behind the bat, I wonder if this won't just, you know, solidly be her best performance of the entire season.
Almost certainly, right? Almost certainly. Rhiannon has had a bit of a tough night at batting so far, but she could bring one more home here as long as she gets on base.
It is just really impressive. You know, it's one thing to come to Peach Gardens and hit a ton of doubles. That's what you do when you come here, right? It's a very doubles and even triples friendly ballpark, but it's another to hit these doubles while at the same time turning double plays, you know, getting these easy ground outs. I mean, how many balls from her have we even seen leave the infield? I'm really impressed with her performance tonight. And as I say that, she does give up a single, but if you're giving up a single, giving it up to a Dry Bones, you can definitely do worse.
Yeah, Blue Dry Bones, again, going into tonight, one of only 3 batters above 700. Now, the way he's batted tonight, I don't think that's going to stay that way, but you know, you can't get complaining if you're giving them up to somebody batting 700. Toadette lets the... Oh my, we have some miscommunication here, folks. So, Daisy disappointed in that. Toadette lets the first star pitch go by, falls for the second. Yellow Toad gets frozen coming in from left field for it. The other defenders don't realize, don't go for it. Blue Drybones doesn't run, and it ends up with somebody on first and one more out. Blue Pianta's single there a little more routine, and the Fireball item, gonna get Pink Yoshi on now. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Zach. Unfortunately, that is it for Daisy. Would have liked to have seen her be the hero and get them out of this jam, but... I'm gonna reach out to Rhiannon. I did get a, I did get an order. But in case she is here, I'm gonna give her an opportunity. Some talk in the chat. Oh, we're not looking at the Monarchs. I'm almost certain it is Gray, Shy Guy. Although, I have had thoughts, I have had talks. I may or may not consider a retexture, maybe even a restat, to bring Anti-Guy in here, because I like that idea. And there's literally no other gray-colored alt, so why?
It would certainly be interesting to see how it shakes up the league in Season 2.
Well, we've got all summer to think about it, and with no answer from Rhiannon, I'm going to go with the order. I have been bringing in Yellow Madge for the most part, but I was actually incorrect to do that. Rhiannon prefers that he stay at short. And so Blooper's coming in to pitch. See, that's what I'm saying. Anti-Guy'd be great. Blooper, thanks to keeping Yellow Magikoopa at short, he just manages to make that out. Monarchs had a chance there, but just couldn't cross the plate.
Yeah, and now, barring... Daisy will be exiting the game with 6.2 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, and barring a crazy last-minute comeback, the win as well.
Certainly, they wouldn't mind putting on some insurance. Blue Critter doesn't manage, and neither will Yellow Yoshi. And so it's all down to Yellow Magikoopa to see if the Flowers can't do something else before they end this game tonight.
Yeah, also, 5.2 innings pitched, not 6.2.
And that is no. Alright, well, the Monarchs know what they need to do. 5 ties this up and gets us into extras, which is where the Daisy Flowers love to be, apparently. 6 wins it. Funky Kong's had a tough day. Can he get them started right? It's deep. It's to the warning track.
It could just land before Rhiannon gets there, and it does, as Funky Kong slides into second base. You can see him doing a little happy dance out there at second. Can Peach keep this rally up, as Blooper wants to throw an extreme changeup, but Peach uses her star swing. Is that the first time we've seen her star swing this season?
It is, and I'm stunned. I'm stunned to see it, folks. Peach uses a star swing. Peach has used a couple of stars so far today. Peach's star swing cannot be caught by any male players.
Interesting.
Yep, that's just the whole thing. Girls can catch it, boys can't.
That's because girls rule and boys drool, as we all know. As we see Gray Shy Guy drooling on his way over to first, is not able to make it in time.
I'm gonna choose.
But yeah,
not
what a key moment to finally use your star pitch. Hopefully it will not be all for naught, as Toadsworth does advance Peach over to third, but at the sacrifice of an out. With Blue Drybones coming up to the plate, you really don't love to see it. Blue Dry Bones, one final chance to make magic happen.
I think
It is hit high, it is hit far, but not far enough as Yellow Toad is under it. And Rhiannon actually pops in, steals the final catch. But regardless, that's the game.
Yeah, I think Charge
Not
is
not a shutout, but the Rhiannon Flowers do take this game 5-1.
I think Charge was a bit of a mistake from Blue Dry Bones at the end there, honestly. They're really excellent contact hitters. Just play it safe, don't get another out, move the batter forward, help you run diff. But 5-1, 5-2, that's not really what you're kicking yourself over if you're the Monarchs here. And so the Flowers move up in the standings, I think. We'll find out after the rest of tonight, I guess, right? Kind of depends on how the 3 and 4 teams do.
And who should be up next for us to watch? But a popular topic in chat right now, a popular topic on commentary as well, the Birdo Bows, the biggest tinkerers in the league. Cowboy Zach at his home stadium is going to be attempting to defend against the August rookies.
Yeah, I'm more excited for this game than I am any other tonight, for sure. This is the 3rd and 4th place teams battling it out here. Definitely both big contenders for the playoffs. Bowser Jr. rookies are going to be working with what worked for him against the Knights last week. Catcher Goomba batting leadoff, followed by first baseman Red Koopa, third baseman Dark Bones. That's switching now. Poor chemistry between shortstop and first base did not have an effect last week, but it's still something you'd rather avoid. King K. Rool, going to get his second week as starting pitcher. Has had a very mixed performance pitching, but again, last week was quite good. Second baseman Critter batting behind him. Right fielder Magic Koopa, center fielder Bowser Jr., left fielder August together after that. And start shortstop Baby Peach, trying to ape the Wilds, if you'll forgive the expression. Going to be bringing up the rear here. Y'all know how I feel about the rookies. I hate them, but I respect them.
Absolutely. But you have to respect their opponents as well. Although I'm getting word in the chat, Cowboy Zach did not run any simulations that time. We'll have to see that affects the course of this game, as he has Wiggler, pitcher, the OPS, or at least on base percentage, king, leading off. Right behind him is going to be a Red Pianta at third base, our RBI actual king. Birdo at short, Red Shy Guy in left field, Zach himself manning center, Red Noki receiving the star out in right field. Green Noki's going to be catching, Yoshi manning second base, and Teal Yoshi, Cyan Yoshi, Cerulean Yoshi if you're wrong, over at first.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm glad to see chat excited. What is the national anthem that has to be sung before every NSLB game? I have no idea. You know what? If somebody wants to write an anthem for the NSLB, I will screen it, and then I might air it. But the only thing we're airing right now is Game 2. I don't know how much more there is to be said. This is the one I'm looking forward to seeing.
Absolutely. And what a ballpark to see it in, as we're heading over to Yoshi Park.
Let's get to Game 2. Wiggler, forced to rest last week, back in here, second best pitcher in the league in ERA. How's Goomba gonna fare against him? Not especially well, unfortunately.
About as well as you might expect.
Managed not to line that one out to second base, but didn't get it far enough over Yoshi's head. Birdo gonna use a suction catch for some reason on that ball that was pretty close. Still gets it out of glove in time. 2 quick outs here. Dark Bones tied for 10th in batting average. Might be dropping a little bit, though, as that's a quick 1-2-3 for the Bows here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great defense. The Birdo Bows, they know this park well. They know the infield well.
And K-Rool pitched well last week, but his first two batters tonight are batting .667 and .750 respectively. I'm expecting to see these 1-2 on, but Green Critter, some heroics at second base. At least gonna do something to stop that.
Now, Red Pianta shows why he has that nickname Ao Oni, or excuse me, Aka Oni, or Red Oni.
We don't talk about Aoni. Not anymore.
Oh no.
And some issues in the outfield between the pipe
Birdo,
and the bananas.
Birdo hits a crazy trick shot. That's the kind of thing that you can only hit if you play at this park day in and day out.
Red Shy Guy having a chance to bring somebody home, and he... Oh, no. No, unfortunately, although that was a long one into left, Red Pianta is rather slow on the base paths and is not interested in running unless he can be sure. Cowboy Zach gonna try and help him out here. Red Noki on deck with a chemistry item. Will that have anything to do with it? Star pitch on strike 3. Just gets down in front of Bowser Jr., and yes, Cowboy Zach is on first. The Bows open up the scoring.
Yeah, it's interesting. We see chat mentioning it, Cowboy Zach, most reliable hitter in the league. That was not the narrative at the beginning of this season. Cowboy Zach displayed some real struggles early on, and, it's been pretty incredible getting to see him recover from those and really come into his own. I've heard some people call him a warm weather merchant. Just a little reminder here, the Mushroom Kingdom is in the Southern Hemisphere, so their winter is akin to our summer. They are in the dog days right now.
And speaking of impressive, Red Noki, an RBI double. King K. Rool already starting to tire out here. And yeah, I think it was week 6 that Cowboy Zach had his first base hit of the season. I think the last player in the league to get a base hit. But him and both of the Nokis
I believe that is correct, yeah.
are batting very well so far today, as Green Noki gets a 2 RBI single.
Yeah, nicely done. It's just so beautiful to see. We're still super early on in this game, but any time that you see all the players that you need to show up showing up, you know that you're at least setting yourself up as well as possible to take this game.
Yeah, and Cowboy Zach's got to be happy to get past 2 of his most reliable double play hitters. I see Swap Goomba and K-Rool. Goomba has also had a brief stint pitching for this team, has not done amazingly, but nowhere to go but up, I think. Goomba was the rookie's, 5th pitcher in that Fireballs massacre. He got him through it, but he wasn't happy about it. I wouldn't be either. This is his redemption arc, I suppose. I'm just gonna wait in the chat real quick for any other instructions. I don't expect them, but... Okie doke. Alright, Goomba, pretty respectable pitcher, 6 out of 10. Not good enough to keep Yoshi from getting on base with a single here, but it is runners on first and second with 2 outs for Light Blue, Teal, Cyan, Cerulean Yoshi.
Yeah, not really who you want to see up at the plate, but hey, Green Yoshi made it on, so that's something. However, Cyan Yoshi just hits harmlessly into Critter's glove.
Yeah, Cyan Yoshi was batting under 100 for a brief period of time. It was a tough time. Did better last week. We'll see if this one lets him. And I'll tell you what, folks, Bo's ahead by 4 in the top of the second. K-Rool is up, leader in home runs, but all he can do is 1 right now. And instead, he's going to swing and a miss on strike 3. Wiggler delivering a strikeout to this league's most threatening batter, arguably.
Yeah, and I know the stats don't fully reflect it right now, but Wiggler, I predict by the end of this season will be the best pitcher in the league.
Maybe I'll just not put myself up on the mound ever again.
At that point, you still give it to Wiggler for longevity,
Yeah.
It's not just about ERA, it's about innings pitched.
I can't let my ego hold forever. He is an excellent pitcher.
And also, importantly, when examining ERA, it doesn't tell the whole story because you have to take into consideration the infield and the outfield that you've got behind these pitchers.
You do.
And Wiggler certainly does have an outstanding outfield, or an outstanding infield, but one that unfortunately makes a disastrous mistake there. As
that could
Yoshi,
be a very costly error, but thankfully...
rare bobble of the ball. Cleans it up nicely with a double play.
Could be a very costly error. Birdo manages to step in, but yes, Bows and the Knights both generally very good infields. I'm not surprised to see their pitchers benefiting from that.
And now here in the bottom of the second, we have reset the lineup for the Birdo Bows. Really just shows you how productive they were in the first inning.
Red Pianta, the best
Red
hitter in
Pianta
this
showing
league.
bunt.
Batting 750, man on first, no outs, shows bunt.
He's also evidently really bad at it. I'll tell you what he's not really bad at, though, is hitting balls out into left field. Unfortunately, August just barely makes it there in time. You wanted to see just a little bit less on that ball.
Forget it,
I'll tell you what
folks.
you didn't want to see a little bit less on, though, is that Birdo dinger as the Yoshi train runs interference. I don't know if the buddies would have been there in time for a jump, but they certainly aren't when there is a dangerous, deadly train in the way, as Birdo just pulls this game further and further, 2 more runs out of the rookies' grasp.
And the Shy Guys watching from the Ferris wheel go crazy as the rookies, not the rookies, the Bows, excuse me, show that they know what home field advantage looks like. 6-0 in their favor in the bottom of the second here. Cowboys act up, nobody on base, 2 outs. And that ball is just foul. Manages to get over the wall in foul right territory, but just foul. Instead, it's going to be a ground out to second. Green Critter really trying to carry the rookie's defense, but anything that goes around him, bit tougher. Starred Baby Peach going to get us started for the rookies in the top of the third. Another error from Yoshi at second today. I just got
you
over,
wonder if the fatigue isn't getting to him here.
I just got over a cold myself, folks. I wonder if something's not going around in the Bows dugout.
It's also just really brutal. Second is a position that is so taxing on your body. He's had to make all of these plays. He's had to make them with his tongue at that.
And getting hit by bombs to boot.
Yeah. You hope this isn't going to be a long-standing jaw issue.
Red Koopa sneaks one up the middle there, so it's 1 on, 2 outs for Dark Bones here. 6:15 batting coming into today. Going to move that in the right direction, and now it's 2 on, 2 outs for home run leader K-Rule. Can he cut the lead down to 3? Certainly after striking out last at-bat, he's got something to prove. But rough contact on that. Yoshi makes a third error, but believe it or not, the POW item arguably helps the defense there by slowing everyone down.
Yeah, I think that's an out no matter what, but just an interesting situation there.
I almost feel bad for Yoshi. I mean, I know he's winning, but 3 errors in 3 innings is no joke. Not an error, just the fact of being a baby. Baby Peach not able to get that one from Red Noki. Green Noki, normally very reliable double play hitter. Just going to be a fly out today, or I guess a long line out. Yoshi showing bunt. Yeah, why not? Whatever. Gonna show bunt for strike 2, and then
question this decision with one out, and Yoshi's gonna be swinging anyway here. But with Cyan Yoshi at the plate, it's just a lost inning anyway. Although Yoshi's trying to prove me wrong here, as he just taps a line drive softly over Baby Peach's head to make it out to shallow center for a single. Cyan Yoshi, though, reminds us he grounds into double plays like nobody else in the league, and
not quite today. He's fast on the base paths. Runners on the corners, 2 outs for Wiggler.
Yeah, Cyan Yoshi took that personally, and only making 1 out instead of 2 here could be crucial. With Wiggler up at the plate, he does what he's so used to doing. Line drive out to center field, drives Yoshi home, as we've got Red Pianta, Aka Oni, Red Oni up to the plate, takes the first strike, doesn't even need it. I would love to see some charge here, but he's going to show us a beautiful hit that won't send Cyan Yoshi home, but will load up the bases for Birdo. She hit 1 home run. Could she turn another?
Let's first one go by her. She's really waiting for her pitch. And she thinks this is it. It's long, it's deep, and Bowser Jr. makes an error on it, a very costly error. Gonna let home 2.
I don't see a train. Makes it past the train in time, so Red Pianta is just gonna have to walk it back. Still scoring 2. You're never complaining.
I love Goomba's tired animation. Red Shy Guy finally going to get the rookies out of this.
And it's not hard to see why Goomba's tired after another inning from hell if you are a Rookies fan. I mean, 9-0, we're hitting Mercy Rule territory here. That is not... We do not play with Mercy Rule. But if we did, this game would be over shortly.
Green Critter goes out looking. Wiggler's got 2 Ks on the day. Quickly shooting to the top of the league here at this pace. And as the Knights owner, I don't know whether to be happy that I'm getting vicarious revenge or upset that the rookies chose today to play like this.
You gotta watch out for these Birdo Bows. They had a rough draft, but Zach has really made the most with what he has, as well as making an incredible trade. And Bowser Jr. does use a star swing to get on base. I have to question the timing, being 2 outs already, but it's 0-9. You gotta do something.
Unfortunately, so many errors today, but Yoshi's not gonna make another one where the rookies were really hoping he would. And so they go scoreless again at the top of the 4th. Cowboy Zach and 2 Nokis up. Normally I'd say not the most dangerous part of the Bows lineup, but they've done pretty well today. Well enough that Goomba does not want to pitch to him. Is he
already understandable?
Gonna struggle from this for sure. Okay, let's talk. My door is always open. I keep it that way so that Meatball can come and go as he pleases. Now, this is a family show, August.
Oh dear. I did not sign up for a family show.
I actually did make sure to check the not for kids button. Let's use the pitching lineup I gave you. Sure, which I definitely have memorized. Here it is. Baby Peach on the pitch. Certainly with a star. plenty of stat. Goomba goes to first, Red Koopa to short. Okay. And unfortunately, seeing glimpses of first half. Cowboy Zach.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody in the league with a 1,000 batting average. You can't expect to hit every single ball. Unless you're Red Noki.
Yeah, might be 3 for 3 today.
Seems determined to get on base every single time.
Really exciting to see it. The Blue Noki for the Bowser Monsters really had her time in the sun earlier this season, when I think 3 for 3 and helped them come back in week 2 or 3 it was. So Red and Green having their day. It's nice. They were due.
Mm-hmm.
And Yoshi, too, going to get one into left. It is bases loaded with 1 out for Cyan Yoshi. Can he manage?
Somehow I have my doubts.
You're right to have him, unfortunately, as even his speed cannot get him to first base in time. For the first time, the Bows go scoreless, but 9 ahead in the top of the 5th. You're not real worried if you're the Bows right now.
Yeah,
Wiggler.
I mean, anything at this point is just gravy beyond gravy.
Wiggler on the mound, every bit as comfortable as he was when he started this game. At this pace, certainly looking to go for another complete. Boo item gives Birdo a little bit of trouble, but Goomba's not that fast, unfortunately. He's a really strange player in this game, I must say.
Which player?
Goomba. He's kind of an all-arounder, except he's not very good in most respects, except he's the best bunter in the entire game. There's a hidden stat for bunting, and nobody does it like Goomba. And he's just kind of okay at everything else.
That feels so correct to me.
He's an odd player, you know? But I kind of like to see him. And the Bows are happy to see Red Pianta coming up here. Wiggler on first, nobody out. And once again, you know, that's 7... I didn't think a 750 batting average could go up, but it just might at this pace.
Yeah, really.
Birdo showing
Baby
charge.
Peach shows a little bit of heat.
Oh
I know.
no, folks. If this stays fair, it will not.
She's just gonna pull foul.
Probably less than 5 feet.
But yeah, I know Baby Peach is on a pretty strict pitch count as the the rookies are really working to develop her arm, and every now and then she'll show heat, but you want to work her up slowly. You know, you don't want her needing elbow surgery when she's only 3 years old.
No, and one more RBI from Birdo is going to get her that much closer. Unfortunately, Green Critter trying, but can't turn the double play. Red Shy Guy is safe on first. And so Cowboys Axe got runners on first and third with 1 out. Even a long fly scores 1 more. And Green Critter, of all players, makes an error. So many errors today, folks.
Yeah, second base has not been a great position defensively this game for either team.
But it's only cost one of them, as the Bows now go to 11-0. Following Baby Peaches.
Already? I told you, she's on a strict pitch count.
She's on a very strict pitch count. Let's use the pitching order. I'm pulling it up. Magic Koopa gonna try and finish this game out. Koopa goes to right, Baby Peach goes back to short. Okay. Oops, all errors, says Patishu, one of our few YouTube viewers. I'm trying to get multi-chat work, and it's been a pain, bud, but you'll see the Twitch friends soon. But yes, it's been a while since I've seen a game with this many errors in it.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see them performed by Yoshis and critters. Some real reliable, if you're gonna they live and die by the middle infield, right? Like, you feel strange putting them anywhere else.
Well, Green Critter at least manages to turn the double there to get him out of it. Still, Dark
Yeah,
Bones
and that's the
K-Roll
other
Critter.
part is we don't. Yeah, we notice all the errors, but we remember them much better than the routine plays and even the great plays that these middle infielders are turning.
K-Roll trying for 8 home runs on the season. The train is finally going to do something for the away team. It's bittersweet, but it keeps the shutout from happening.
Yeah, and no great infield play is going to prevent that ball, as that sails somewhere into the entryway for Yoshi Park.
Patashu mentioning, it'd be fun to have a stadium where the gimmick is players make more errors. Well, I'll tell you what, my friend, if you've got good batting chemistry, that's every stadium. And unfortunately, Magic Koopa gonna end any sense of momentum the rookies might have had here. Yoshi struggled at the start of the game, but seems to have gotten his feet under him now. Green Noki,
I
Green
feel like
Yoshi.
spiritually Yoshi Park's kind of like PNC Park out in Pittsburgh. It's even got a pirate ship.
It does even have a pirate ship, and unfortunately it has Green Noki finally doing what we expect of her, lining out to short for what would have certainly been a double play if the opportunity had presented itself to her.
You cannot possibly complain about her performance today, though.
Absolutely not. Line out to left for Green Yoshi. And the rookies might go scoreless here, as we have 2 quick outs and Cyan Yoshi up to bat. I don't think the rookies are expecting to win this one, but Magic Koopa's doing everything he can for that run differential. We'll find out, though. Bowser Jr., August, Baby Peach, up to bat in the top of the 7th. 10 to tie it and get to the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, it is worth noting that run differential, especially with the middle of the pack being so crowded at this stage, if that keeps up, run differential is a tiebreaker. And so we've seen the Birdo Bows put on performances like this one. That's going to really drive their run differential up, as well as stuff like some very close losses, including one to the Mario Fireballs, a team that a lot of people have had some pretty negative differentials towards.
Yeah, and wouldn't you know it,
Oh my goodness.
Yoshi makes the error. Unfortunately, oh no, Bowser Jr. is close enough to trigger the close play animation, which, at least in Season 1, always favors the runner. There are some Gecko codes I found recently developed to change that. Likely will keep the mechanic for Season 1 for fairness's consistency's sake as much as anything else, but in Season 2, expect those close plays to go a little differently. Pickoff attempt at second, no good. 2 on, nobody out for the rookies right now. Goomba trying to keep this rally going. And that shell item pointed straight at Birdo, but doesn't come out of the cannon. The runners are still advanced, and so Red Koopa, I'm hoping, is going to try and hit one deep to get somebody across the plate. Instead, it's
going to be right to Birdo for an easy double play. Just a very simple 6-4 double play.
A 4-3 team and a 3-3-1 team placed third, placed fourth in the league. This was poised to be a very tight matchup, but it did not end up being a very tight game. Bows take this one away.
Yeah, and I think it shows any team is kind of capable of any performance.
Any team, any performance, any week, every stadium, every player. It's the NSLB, folks. There's no league quite like it. Now
Absolutely.
I've got a new intermission screen because I had a little bit extra time this week. So the intermission and the getting ready for stream screen are no longer the same, which is nice. We are going to have that intermission now, though, as I am sadly out of beer. So
Gotta fix that.
I got more in the fridge. We're good. I will be seeing you folks. We want to keep things moving with the conferences tonight. Do we want to shoot for 10 minutes? We'll be back 7:25 Eastern.
That works for me.
All right, we'll see you folks in 10 minutes. We're back a whole minute early for yous. Don't say we never did anything. Game 3 coming up here tonight. Calvin Wilds going to the mansion to face the Luigi Knights. I'll let Iris start us off for this one, since I like walking you through my team. What's going on, Iris, at the Wild side?
That is a great question that I don't feel fully qualified to answer, as we've got Calvin himself leading off at third base, Baby Luigi at shortstop, taking that coveted second batting position, Baby Mario at catcher, batting third, Blue Yoshi at second base, Baby DK out in right field, Tiny Kong in left, Dixie Kong in center. Diddy's taking first base, and in a decision that nobody in the world could possibly justify, rounding out the bottom of the batting order, we have Donkey Kong pitching.
I don't know what you're talking about, Tal. Don't tell Calvin how to run his game. This is a lineup that actually this is pretty similar to the lineup that we've seen normally. Calvin just took the second half of his lineup and put it on the first. The actual order of these batters is relatively familiar. They just kind of got split into two different chunks.
It's just a little confusing, I'll be honest, but we'll see if confusion is just what Calvin needs to take a game off of the nearly undefeated Luigi Knights.
Certainly, we're not invincible. I've simmed this one, and I've seen it go both ways, but I still like my odds. I have actually made one change. Blue Toad still catching, still batting leadoff. Brown Critter keeps his star. I did run some sims where I tried it on the Shy Guys. I don't feel like it made enough of a difference, so we'll let Brown Critter hang on to it for now. Green Toad in left, Autumn in center. Luigi, your starting pitcher, moving up in the order. He's a slightly better batter than Green Shy Guy, and he still has chemistry with Autumn, so why not? Petey Piranha, of course, going to try and bring the green section of chemistry home. Green Shy Guy is still batting after that. Blue Shy Guy, Mr. Double Play himself. And I will be playing first, bringing up the rear. Certainly, it's the Knights. You know them. You love them. I hope. I love them. That's all that matters. But, we're going to see what they're capable of doing here at the mansion. Certainly the offense had a very cold day last week. I'm going to chalk it up to just, us getting a little comfortable, you know? We got our wake-up call. We're ready to get back in it.
Absolutely. And there's only one way to see if you are able to get back in it, and that's to get us started.
Do I have to? I suppose so.
I think you do.
Let's see what happens at the mansion here, folks. Yes, Calvin has hit leadoff before. Usually followed by Tiny Kong, however. And that's a quick line out to Petey at short. Out number 2 goes to Autumn in center from Baby Luigi.
And once again, very apropos for this stage, she does not have any eyes.
Oh, did the save state screw up? I didn't even notice. No, she does. I see him.
Oh, does she?
You gotta squint a little bit.
I swear she didn't in the other shot. I could be wrong, though.
Well, in any case, we'll be seeing more of her soon enough. But first, Knights have to get through Blue Toad, Brown Critter, Green Toad. Donkey Kong, his second week in a row pitching here. And Blue Toad starts it off right with a single. Certainly, although Yellow, the only Toad we have in the top 10 batting averages, all of the Toads, Blue... Oh no, Purple was up there as well, I'm sorry. So yeah, Blue, Green, and Red are no joke themselves.
Also no joke is Brown Critter, who hits a nice single. That's about all you can ask for here in this park sometimes.
Almost with an extra base, but Blue Toad gets a little hesitant. As long as he's back to the bag in time, I'm not upset. Green Toad waiting for his pitch. Thinks this might be it. And it does get down into shallow left, and with ghosts and error items causing some trouble, Nobody else wants to get off the base pads, but the Knights already have one.
Yeah, that was interesting there. Dixie Kong trying to get the buddy throw over to Tiny Kong, but Tiny Kong was not able to recover in time. You know, you hope that a team with this much chemistry is able to avoid mistakes like that, but you know, maybe sometimes you're able to put so much trust in somebody else that you're not prepared for them to misstep like that.
Perhaps not, and there's Autumn's beautiful face we saw as she gets a single. Captain's duel here, bases loaded with no outs for Luigi, Petey on deck. Unfortunately, a triple play from Luigi, turned by Calvin.
Jeez.
What a way to go, folks. I said, you know, even if he hits a double play, he'll probably manage to score one. That's what I get. Still, Knights are in the lead here, and Blue Yoshi not going to bring that any further from the case. Baby DK now.
And if there's any team that you want to rely on to preserve a 1-0 lead, it would be those Luigi Knights.
Certainly, this team has league-leading defense. Even their first loss was only 3-0, which, as we've seen, is not too bad compared to what it could have been. Petey makes a good jump for that at short. And so the Wild's not able to capitalize on the opening their own defense made. Petey Piranha up first here. Not the position I love to see him in, but what can you do? Followed by two Shy Guys.
Yeah, you mentioned Petey hasn't been able to hit as many home runs as you would like. We'll see if he can change this narrative right now. With one swing of the leaf, it's just gonna come up short though, and should land safely in Dixie's glove.
Baby DK not able to get there in time for the buddy jump. On any shallower stadium, that would have been gone, but unfortunately, home field advantage hits the Knights kind of hard too. Wise use of a star by Green Shy Guy. That ball is just too hot for Yoshi's tongue to handle.
Yeah, and you know, again, you mentioned that you thought Petey would have maybe hit more home runs. You do have to remember the ballpark on which he's playing half of his games.
It's true. Blue Shy Guy, a batter I constantly give flack, hits a very good single up the third base line. So now as the owner, I had better put my money where my mouth is. Let this go by. You didn't let it go by. And almost punished, but everybody gets back on time. Let's hope Blue Toad has better pitch selection.
Yeah, and if Blue Toad can get on base here, even just a single would load the bases for Brown Critter, absolutely capable of hitting home runs. That is going to land safely as Dixie Kong just can't get there in time. I feel like she's capable of more hustle than that, but regardless, Blue Toad makes it on base. Here. Critter, you can see how much he wants it already.
And gonna try for a
little late
star.
to the first swing.
Wisely placed star. I'm perfectly happy with this. And in fact, the Ghosts are gonna cause some trouble in the outfield that turns a 2 RBI double into a 3 RBI double.
Yeah, obviously a home run is preferable, but you cannot possibly complain about a 3-run double.
No, part of the reason that Brown Critter and Petey got split in the batting order is because they really like to use those stars for some deep, high-leverage singles and doubles. So why not load the bases first? Green Toad not going to load the bases first, though. When DK decides to use his barrel pitch, it can be quite effective. Speaking of DK, we're finally going to see him up to bat this inning. Dixie Kong, Diddy Kong, and himself on deck now as we get into the top of the third. Wild's down by 4.
Dixie Kong's being very patient with the bat today. Finally sees the pitch that she likes. A beautiful single. That's her bread and butter.
Definitely rewarded for it, and Diddy Kong up here. Certainly, Knights are going to try and slow this down, and that's the kind of thing you'll love to see. Petey Piranha, excellent shortstop, makes the double play. Now Donkey Kong can do whatever he likes. Worst he can do is cut it to a 3-run lead. Which it looks like he just might try to, unless that pulls foul. And it does, but not by much. There's no pull out there. I'm not sure what Lakitu's going on. Jams that one inside. Not fast enough to get to first. Autumn, Luigi, Petey batting now for the Knights.
You hate to see that switch up there going from a near home run to not even leaving the infield.
DK is still league leader in RBIs, though after tonight, that could be a bit of a challenge. Although Bowser not playing and K-Rool didn't manage any himself, so maybe he's safe this once. Autumn does her darndest, can't get to the bag even with the fireball item.
Yeah, with the chemistry item, sometimes if you're, an Ichiro type, then hitting into a star pitch is actually not a terrible idea.
6 out of 10 speed, just not enough. Calvin in the chat, don't know how we fucked up so bad, but we did it. I mean, look, the game is not over. The game is not over, and it's not out of reach yet, either. The game is over, bro. I mean, look, we don't have a forfeit rule. As commissioner, do I invent a rule that lets you give this up to me? That feels like a conflict of interest. Yeah, my co-com says no. Put Diddy on the mound. I knew this is what we were gonna do. Anything else? I believe the original plan I was given stopped here, but just in case, Calvin. Alright. The fans demand one-sided baseball. It kind of has been tonight, hasn't it? And next game, I expect to be pretty one-sided, too. But we'll see, we'll see.
Hey, we don't know that.
Banana Ball, a tough pitch to make good contact on, and Luigi does not. And so it is once again Petey up with nobody on the base paths to bring in. He's pretty slow. I'd like to see him stay off of them himself. Ideally with a home run that he does not manage. Again, pulls that one foul. Somebody hit Petey! I can't believe it, folks. We've actually seen a beanball.
That's my goat!
At least have the
You gotta hit Petey!
At least have the respect to walk the guy. Don't sweep the leg. Calvin, you better believe I'm going to be looking real closely at the doctor's note when we're done here.
And you wonder with Petey coming up.
Error item from Baby Luigi on deck actually manages to hit Brown Critter in the middle of that dive. And so Calvin is on now. Baby Luigi gonna show bunt at 2 strikes and then swing for contact, and we'll see what happens then. There's 1. There's 2.
But yeah, you wonder with Diddy coming up in the order if you might see some retaliatory behavior from Luigi. But first, Baby Luigi is going to hit into a series of catastrophic errors here that will allow him to get on base.
Baby Mario, not a terribly tough batter. Boo item is... oh boy. Just in time. Blue Yoshi up now with runners on second and third, 1 out. Calvin ready to tag up. Blue Yoshi gonna try. Green Toad is underneath that, but Calvin is definitely gonna cross the plate. And so the Wilds get 1 run closer.
And they're not out of this by any means. I know Luigi's Mansion's a scary, scary stadium to be behind on.
It is traditionally a pretty low-scoring field.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's the most pitcher-friendly park in the league, as Baby Luigi goes for the gold steal, just makes it in time.
Maybe I should be thinking about somebody with a better arm behind the plate. Doesn't matter though. Green Toad is under that. Gonna let you folks in on a fun fact. A lot of left-handed hitters on the Wilds. A lot of left-handed hitters on the Wilds, so... Green Toad and Green Shy Guy actually switched outfield places this week. One up the middle from Blue Shy Guy, 2 for 2 today so far. Color me impressed. And hopefully, color me on base, too, while you're at it. Well, I'm gonna let strike one go by. Banana Ball. A swing on this is likely not gonna do anything worth it. Yep. It's kind of funny, actually. Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, neither one of them has a very good ERA, but both of their star pitches are actually rather useful as far as captain star pitches go.
Yeah, they are pitchers who you can't help but feel like maybe if these CPUs had a bit more
deep ball
brains
from
in
Brown
them.
Critter. Does it get out in time? Not quite. Buddy
does
jump
not.
is there.
Beautiful buddy jump there from Dixie, assisted by Tiny. Or Baby DK, excuse me.
I was hoping for either a ghost or one of the, what am I thinking of here, folks? One of the rare cases where the batters just, the outfielders just don't jump. Didn't get those, though.
Mm-hmm. And here we do see, you know, obviously crooked numbers would be nice if the Wilds are able to put up 1 run per inning from here on out while keeping the Knights scoreless. They will take this to extras.
Luigi doing his best to hold that, though. Even in the loss against the Rookies, Luigi still delivered a complete game. Looking to go for another one here. I'm kind of stunned by it, folks, but the Knights have yet to make a substitution. Diddy Kong doing his best. Is the shell item going to come out in time? No, not quite. Still, they sock one to Autumn, just as a bit of a middle finger on their way out.
Yeah, unfortunately, the DK Wild's chances are dwindling pretty quickly. They've got 6 outs to work with at this point. And meanwhile, the Luigi Knights are gonna keep on trying to increase their lead. An effort that Green Toad seems more than interested in contributing to.
Green Toad, Autumn, Luigi gonna try. Unfortunately, Autumn lines out into the double play. The green section of the lineup really struggling to coordinate here. Luigi with that triple play feels really painful.
Yeah.
But if he gets on base and then Petey hits a homer, that's 2 more. You're hoping he takes or whiffs on the star. And he does. Diddy, not the captain of this team, makes his star pitches pretty expensive. Unfortunately, Blue Yoshi does have that one, and so, once again, the lineup for the Knights here just struggles to fit everybody in where they belong. Donkey Kong, Calvin, Baby Luigi batting for the Wilds in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, and speaking of fitting people in where they belong, we do see Donkey Kong, who has not been able to see as many at-bats as other players that bat earlier in the lineup, is going to be a leadoff hitter here. Only manages to line out sharply to Brown Critter. We'll see if Calvin, the owner here, can rise up to the moment, really be that spark he needs to get his team started. And he is not, as Brown Critter reminds us once again, that he is a middle infielder through and through, and he does his job like nobody else except possibly his middle infield counterpart over at short, Petey Piranha.
The only infielder who could prevent me from putting Brown Critter at short was Petey. It really is that close. They are 1-1A. Boo item causes a little bit of trouble, but that was likely to be a single anyway. 1 on, 2 outs for Baby Mario here. Luigi pitching outside, trying to see if he can't get the baby to chase a little bit. They have small strike zones. POW item going to cause some trouble. Unfortunately, it's going to cause it for everyone equally. And so once again, Wilds shut down. Petey and 2 Shy Guys up for the Knights to try and put a little bit more insurance on.
Yeah, and if you're looking for insurance runs, this is the cast to do it.
Very early charge from Petey. Decides to take, usually batters will. Off speed can be a dangerous pitch to give him. Blue Yoshi, for all your heroics last inning, that felt like an intentional letting Petey on. Probably in preparation of a Shy Guy double play. But they've been good so far today. I'm hoping I didn't just jinx them. Beautiful shot up the... No, come on, really? How can you tell? Shot up the third base line from Green Shy Guy foul, but does get a single just past Baby Luigi is short. Alright, Blue Shy Guy.
Yeah, and I would like to see a groundskeeper for Luigi's Mansion here, with those foul lines being so difficult to see. You can't complain for being biased against the home team here.
Good slap from Blue Shy Guy. Does not convince Petey to try all the way for home, but after a ghost and a bomb, it's just enough to get him to think about it. And it's been a long time since we've seen Petey make his way around the base paths the normal way. Runners on the corners,
definitely not a fast runner.
Can I at least do something here? I try. Unfortunately, the POW item probably did more harm than good, but the Knights had an out to spare, and so I managed to put one more through.
Yeah, being out of Grand Slam range now, it's difficult to imagine a Wilds comeback in the 7th inning.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame Blue Toad, right? Baby Luigi was really trying... I blame Blue Toad for this, but I don't blame Blue Toad for the POW item. Baby Luigi almost had that ball, and it would have been nice to POW the item if he had gotten it. It's one of those snap decisions. Blue Yoshi, Baby DK, Tiny Kong gonna try and be the saviors of the Wilds. Blue Yoshi does his part.
Yeah, and at this point, you're not necessarily looking for dingers or anything like that. You just want to keep the lineup moving. You want to see single home run, ideally.
Yeah, and wouldn't you know it, the Boo item gonna cause a fair amount of trouble here. Not quite enough for Blue Yoshi to go for third, or go for home, excuse me. But it is runners on the corners with no outs for Tiny Kong. Again, showing charge, very smart here if you're a Wild. You really want to keep the ball out of the infield as much as you can. And Tiny Kong gonna manage to at least score one, but a double play thanks to Blue Shy Guy's excellent performance at third. A grand slam behind on 2 outs. It's tough, and Autumn shuts it down.
Yeah, for as much as Dixie was so patient earlier in the game, she got a little bit antsy. She knew that the game rested on her shoulders, and I think the pressure just got to her as she charge swung at that first pitch. Wasn't really a great pitch to hit, and I think that showed as we round out this game. Another win from the Luigi Knights. They will stay in place moving into the second half of the season.
Back in proper form. We're not the highest scoring team in the league, but as long as the defense holds, we don't have to be. One team that might be the highest scoring in the league, however, is the Mario Fireballs, who Nate, in chat, not super excited to be facing with his Wario muscles, a team that consists of shortstop Wario, a man famously never allowed near the mound. We'll talk about that later. Right fielder, Yellow Shy Guy, current league leader in double plays. I didn't make a category graphic for it because it's a really tight race, but he is on top of it. Third baseman, Waluigi. Second baseman, Red Yoshi. King Boo, your starting pitcher for the second... Oh, the Kongathon has ended. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Nate's not worried about this. He's just worried about the Kongathon. All right, well, then hopefully Nate's feeling pretty good as King Boo, starting pitcher wasn't week in a row, is going to be followed up by a starred first baseman Paragoomba. Had a pretty big week last week, his first with the star, hoping to see if that wasn't a fluke. Left fielder Yellow Pianta follows them, catcher Purple Toad, and Nate himself bringing up the rear. It's a heck of a team, the Muscles. They are slightly on the worst side of 500 here at 3-4, but they are not out of the running by any stretch, And any team can beat any team, but it's not going to be an easy one against the Mario Fireballs, run by my co-com Iris. Iris, what are we looking at with the Fireballs?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been saying from the very beginning that Nate's team is better than his schedule. However, one team that I think is perhaps pretty accurately represented by their win-loss record thus far are these Mario Fireballs. Uh, you're used to the lineup. There's really only two we switch between. We've got Red Critter with the star at shortstop, Hammer Bro at third base, Boomerang Bro at first base, Fire Bro at second. We got the bros in the infield, plus Red Critter. Red Magic Koopa is taking the mound. I'll be out in center field. Mario manning right field, where his speed stat is much more favorable than any of the bros. Red Toad's going to be in left field, and Baby Daisy's here too.
Baby Daisy's here too. I don't know that there's much to say about the Fireballs that we haven't said or that they haven't made a statement of themselves. This is a team to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am excited to watch him. I'm excited to hear that Nate's not scared. I think no matter what, you have to believe in your team. And we know that every single team is mortal. The Mario Fireballs have tied the Rhiannon Flowers. And I feel pretty comfortable saying the Wario Muscles are a significantly better team. Anything can happen. The only way to find out is by getting started.
All right, I'm looking forward. Let's see if the Muscles can take the Fireballs by the horns here.
And Mario will absolutely never rock the Yankees fit, as much as this team may represent some, or may be reminiscent of some Yankees teams in the past. I much prefer to think of it as, say, the 1965 Orioles, and Mario will be dressed appropriately in his classic orange and black.
And he manages to make that out as Wario hits one up the first base line, and you called it. I don't think Firebro and Wright would have gotten to that. Firebro does, however, get to a lazy lineout from Yellow Shy Guy for a quick 1-2. Waluigi batting 2 for 3 coming into this. Red Magic Koopa trying
being really patient here.
Pitch around him here. Waluigi's a tricky pitcher himself. He has a pretty good handle of what he should and shouldn't swing at, it seems like. And lets that one go outside. Good eye, good eye. And yes, indeed, he just sneaks one past Firebro at second for a single. The Muscles are at least going to put someone on the bag.
Incredible sequence there from Waluigi. You admire plays with grit like that.
Yeah, excellent plate discipline. You love to see Magic Koopa get that much more tired. Unfortunately, Red Yoshi not going to do anything to tire him out, as a quick ground out to second ain't the way to do it. And so now it's the Muscles' turn to face a very deadly 1-2-3. 1-2-3-4, really. Red Critter looking to show him why. Opening up with a quick solo shot to center.
You can't complain about a leadoff home run.
Piantas are a bit of a trade-off in the outfield. They've got great arms, but they're not fast. Oh my god, is Hammer Bro going for 2? Oh dear. This game starts with back-to-back solo shots.
And Hammer Bro is so capable of hitting that exact home run. It's really just a line drive.
He tried
higher walls, it's a double.
He tried a few times at the mansion, and thankfully the fence at the back is the only reason I think we managed to sneak away with that one. Oh, Boomerang Bro, don't do it. That one pulls foul.
Just pulls foul. Boomerang Bro's got that curve, and he decides to go for the slap hit. I have to question the decision, but he is going to make it on base. We'll have to see if Fire Bro can drive him in with a home run of his own.
King Boo at this pace.
Wants to go for the slap hit as well. I don't quite get the decision-making process.
Boomerang Bro is the lead only of the bros to be on the top 10 batting averages. Perhaps he's trying to maintain it.
And those bananas actually...
King Boo not likely to
really
make it out of
matter
the
at all.
first inning. We might see a substitution right here, to tell you the honest truth. No, not quite. Not quite, but with no outs, runners on first and second, and the Fireball's already up by 3. Red Yoshi, again, just can't get to it. You jump for those, Red Yoshi. You jump for those.
And Red Mad might be able to make it home. No, he's just going to go back. Totally understandable with that. With the chemistry in the outfield, with that laser throw from Wario.
If he had gotten greedy, he definitely would have been punished.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate the ambition and the lack of greed.
King Boo already showing tired. Mario not doing so bad in the double play category himself. Muscles praying to God he does it here, but no, a wise use of a star swing is going to bring at least one more home, likely 2. Pianta's got an arm.
Yeah, that
but
laser
not
throw
that much
shouldn't
of
be
an
in
arm.
time.
Oh, God. Nate, I promise you I had nothing to do with this. If I had, you'd be winning. If I had any power to control the RNG, I wouldn't be doing it in this direction. King Boo. Has King Boo pitched it out?
Don't believe so.
King Boo's ERA about to go crazy. Alright, well, I have a pitching order from Nate, but, in the event he's changed his mind, he's welcome to let me know. Okay. Stick to the order, that's great. If only I were smart enough to pull it up ahead of time. There it is. Open notes. Okay. Alright, I don't see any substitutions outside of the pitch. And so, Paragoomba, starred, was ready to pitch last week, did not have to. This is a trial by fire if there ever were one. Once again, forgive the expression. Red Toad, generally pretty reliable. But finally, the Muscles are at least going to record 1 out.
And I would just like to point out that, like, for what it's worth, Nate has not gotten his chance up at the plate. This is a very hitter-friendly park. We don't know that we're not just going to see a slugfest.
We certainly
As
could.
Baby Daisy does what she does best, hits into a double play.
However, I think 6 from the Fireballs here, the most we've had in any first inning. It's a tall mountain to climb, but King Boo's gonna try, and he's really one of the hitters that this ballpark should favor.
Also, King Boo does not have an infinite ERA. He's pitched before. I think he has a lot of innings, actually.
Yeah, King Boo's pitched plenty before. I think was about 4.5 coming into this.
4.26. 23 innings pitched.
That's going up. And unfortunately, he gets a deep single, but nothing more. You're really hoping that the star prevents a Paragoomba double play. It does not. Not with Red Critter at short, anyway. 2 quick outs here. Can Yellow Pianta deliver? Hey, at least he's not showing bun.
Hey, he gets a hit. Just
It's
barely
close.
makes it over to first base because the Piantas are so slow.
The Piantas are slow, and most of the Fireballs team has a heck of an arm. Purple Toad shows why he is the best batter that's not reached 700.
And after 2 outs, Nate is starting to mount a bit of a rally here.
I don't like that he's not showing charge, though. Knees are great at hitting into double plays. And Firebro might not have been fast enough to turn a double play there, but doesn't need to. They only had 1 out to spare.
And we're back to the top of the lineup.
It's not another home run, but Red Critter, 2 for 2 today with a single. Hey, double and a triple, he's got the cycle. Hammer Bro may be thinking about the same. You could hear the tough contact on that one. Why do the bros need that, wonders Cowboy Zach? I don't know, why'd you let Iris have all 3 of them?
I'm always asking this.
Boomerang Bro. Gonna put 1 more over the plate.
Firebro wants to see if he can drive all 3 of his brothers home. He's charging for it.
He's gonna
try.
Hitting.
It's high. It's fast. But they're...
It's too high.
Going to try, but can't quite get the height that they need.
As
all 3 bros cross the plate.
The least consistent of the bros, but far and away the strongest. We have entered Mercy Rule territory in the bottom of the 2nd. With no outs. Make that 1.
Nice play there by Red Yoshi.
Red Yoshi finally does something here. It kind of feels like... Sorry, go ahead.
If there's any solace, it's that you have reached the significantly weaker part of the batting order.
I was about to say the same. It kind of feels like all the muscles are doing now is just hoping that they can get to the weaker part of the order. Just let them score whatever they want. When Baby Daisy comes up, we'll finally get through.
Yeah.
Wario makes a good dive.
And Mario, perfectly capable of hitting into double plays. Definitely up there.
Yeah, Wario again. Wario has really struggled as a pitcher for this team, but he's not a bad shortstop, certainly for not having the super dive advantage that so many middle infielders in this league do. And he's going to try for a home run of his own. No dice. Iris and Red Toad are out there to rob it.
Yeah, I mean, if you play on Mario Stadium as your home stadium, you spend multiple hours a week just practicing buddy jumps out there in center field.
You're really looking for the line drive homers on this part. It's not the kind of thing most batters are used to actively trying for, but it's probably what they need to be doing. Waluigi not able to get on base this go-round. Muscles held scoreless. Fireballs, not so much. With Red Toad, Baby Daisy, Red Critter up yet again. And
if you're looking for a quick 1-2-3 inning, this is absolutely the part of the lineup that you want to see. Red Critter a bit scarier.
Paragoomba is wearing out, though. And Baby Daisy, of all players, is going to hit a single.
Like you said, I don't think anybody's hitting below the Mendoza line, at least. As a start, Paragoomba wants out of this nightmare scenario.
Unfortunately for Waluigi, he's next in the order unless Nate tells me not to. That top 5 ERA is looking pretty tenuous right now.
Although, hey, he could come in, show some real heroics, hold the Fireball scoreless for the rest of the game, and that would just be one of those tragic performances where a player is just absolutely brilliant and it doesn't matter and it'll get forgotten by time in the face of a double-digit lead. But these Wario muscles, they've got muscles. They are capable of hitting home runs. They're capable of hitting singles. They're capable of getting back into this game. It would take their best performance of the season, quite frankly, but it is possible.
Speaking of, Nate, do we want anything else to move? I assume not. I'm just gonna assume not. I don't have it in the order. The best formulation he's got. Nate has seen the
Just want to let that pass by.
Nate has seen the sum of all possible universes, and I don't know that it gets better than this. Waluigi loves those star pitches.
2 star pitches.
Waluigi loves to spend them. If only they did anything.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that turned a much deeper line drive, possibly even a home run, into a single, but...
Speaking of singles, Hammer Bros got one more. Bases loaded on 1 out here.
And you know that these bros are going to charge, so it's very unlikely they'll hit in a double play, unless Boomerang Bro just wants to read me to filth, I guess.
Star hit instead.
Extremely terrifying star hit with so many, just going over the head of so many players you feel like could have jumped up for it.
Even if they had, it would have still been a sack run for sure with the amount of knockback it delivers. Hot one from Firebro over right foul wall. If he can just keep it a little more centered, and he's going to. That one's slow. Is it too high? No, instead...
What?
Instead, they don't jump.
Excuse me?
Oh, Christ. So,
I'm telling you, it's something about the corners. It, perfectly dotted the corner.
What happened there is the AI doesn't buddy jump if it's going to bounce off the wall and come back like a double. That one bounced off the wall like a double, except it then continued bouncing forward for the cheekiest Grand Slam humanly imaginable. The Fireball's now up 14-0. And it kind of feels like the Mario team is officially the villains of this league.
Now, hold on. This is... You cannot say that as the #1 team in this league.
I'm sorry, but I'm the #1 team on some tight wins. I haven't gone 14-0 in 3 innings on anybody. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Thanks, Dad. Alrighty.
Don't hate the player, just
purple
question
toad.
your decision to give me a critter and 3 bros. Why did everyone let me have 3 bros?
I don't know. I thought Rhiannon would take it, and I didn't want to take it from her. I am a little jealous. Just a little. I'm winning, but I'm still a little jealous. Alright, Wario manages to get him out of this. Pretty sure half the league hasn't played either Mario baseball game. That might be more than half the league, to tell you the truth. King Boo up now. Nobody on base. 1 out. Too hot of a ball for Firebro to grab, ironically enough. Manages to make it a single. Paragoomba double play. Even with a star, Paragoomba's body is a machine that turns at-bats into double plays.
You really do hate to see it.
Speaking of players who know how to hit double plays, Mario's up first, so he'll avoid that fate today. And that's a line drive.
Beautiful shot if it could have just stayed fair.
It's got the power, but not the aim. That one, however, is going to be a deep single. Yeah, not a double. This is a pretty shallow field.
Toad really wants it, and Mario... I gotta question Mario running so far forward. That felt pretty dangerous.
Every runner does it. Baby Daisy trying to get him out of this one. Red Yoshi can't turn a double play, but at least there's one out. Still, that leaves a runner on second for Red Critter. On 2 outs, this could still cause something. And it
I
is...
think that's just gonna pull foul.
Yeah, gonna pull foul by a fair bit there. Yeah, agreed, Patashu, agreed, but that's the beauty of 2009 Nintendo AI. Sometimes it just doesn't know what it's doing. Hopefully, the muscles know what they're doing. Yellow Pianta, Purple Toad, Nate, I believe, batting. That one's got the distance to go out, but Mario grabs it. I'm impressed, actually. I kind of thought that might be too high.
Yeah, me too.
But Mario will allow the muscles not even a brief moment of respite. Purple Toad, gonna try again, but once again, can't get there. With how effectively they're retiring the side, Red Magic Koopa has never pitched a complete game. He pitched 6 2/3 and then gave up in a perfectly comfortable position. Could this be the first time we actually see him stay?
Only time will tell. Still has 2.1 innings to get through. Gonna reduce that to 2 as Nate isn't gonna be able to make it to first base in time.
And that's a terrifying 3-man lineup if I've ever seen one. Does Purple Toad have what it takes?
He does. Limits a non-charging Hammer Bro. You almost wonder if they're not trying to conserve some energy for next week at this point.
Boomerang Bro ain't. That ball is mashed, but it goes way right.
Wario does, show that he's human there, shows that even though he has really taken to the shortstop position, it is not really his default position, sort of by trade.
No.
Does not have one of those super dives.
That one from Fire Bro gets off the wall and comes back, like they usually do. Autumn asking the question I was just about to ask, is Wario human?
I'm inclined to say yes.
I mean, he's got pointy ears and pointy shoes. Maybe he's some sort of elf? Whatever he is, he's not able to get to that one at short. Laser beam from Yellow Pianta, not enough to prevent one more. Bases loaded, 1 out for the cover athlete here. Orioles Mario gonna try and finish this one out. Keep things moving. And again, Red Yoshi just can't get to it.
I mean, you're really gonna try not to finish one out, but also, what the hell a match!
Red Magic Koopa gets overconfident here.
I understand. You're trying to flex on him a little.
Yeah, the fireballs I don't think are taking this game all that seriously anymore.
Does feel a little bit in poor taste, I'll admit.
Purple Toad getting tired. Honestly, with how much punishment he's been getting delivered, I'm impressed that he stayed in this long. And yes, indeed, the strategy of just wait for baby Daisy. Only 3 for the fireballs. They're holding them closer than they have previously, but there is a slaughter rule in the game, if that's how you want to call it. I think mercy rule is the standard, but yeah. There is a mercy rule in this game by default. It is lead by 10. We turned it off. And Yellow Shy Guy just can't get there, but at least it's not a double play. Wario on second,
Midmatch
one
is
out.
starting to show some fatigue. We wonder if that won't be demonstrated in his play.
Unfortunately, that's not going to be it from Waluigi. Red Yoshi has struggled on second base today. Can he at least get on for King Boo? That's a big fat no. Is this worse than Monarchs v Fireballs? It is, and by a fair margin. "500 flat rates in a trench coat" proposes that the Warriors come in. I mean, look, that'd be a hell of a crossover, but no such luck. I don't think Nintendo would approve.
Mm-hmm. Pink Toad does manage to make that first out of the starter Red Critter.
I hear Ajax has a wicked fastball. Speaking of wicked,
Screaming line drive to right field. Still only going to be a single.
I know what you meant. I know what you meant. Look, we have to make our own humor. This game ain't very funny. And finally,
That is the second goose egg of the game.
King Boo, Paragoomba, Yellow Pianta for the muscles here. This their last chance to at least not be shut out.
Yeah, Red Mage is staying in.
I'll tell you, it doesn't matter, folks. Muscles are not going to be pitching another inning. I'll stake my life on that one. Wario is banned, but I have to admit, I can't help but wonder how much damage could he have done? Paragoomba not going to be able to do any damage. Yellow Pianta.
Red Mage trying to get his first complete game and his first complete game shutout in one go.
A solo shot would have
Starts Yellow Pianta with a strike that just paints the corner.
Alright, well, that's gonna be all she wrote here at Mario Stadium. And if you're Nate, at least it's over.
Not the highest scoring Mario Fireballs game.
No, but the largest margin of victory we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm. And that will also put me not at number 1 on the leaderboard because it is still bringing me to 6-1-1, rather than a 7-1 record that currently occupies first place. But I do now have the highest run differential of anyone.
You do. I keep the head-to-head for a little bit, but well, I don't know exactly what's going to happen when the Knights come here. We'll find out. But for right now, folks, I'm actually not going to move us to the end of stream screen because the stream is not over. We've got a treat for y'all. I'm going to go just take a quick look at my Discord and check. I'm hoping that most, if not all, of the owners have made their way to a certain voice channel by now, because we'll be talking to quite a few of them tonight. Yeah, that looks like the lot of them. Alright, folks, so we're going to take just a little bit of a break here again. It is 8:19 I don't know, I'm going to shoot for maybe 8:25, 8:30, just long enough for me to make a cocktail, because we are going to meet all of the owners tonight. It's going to be very exciting. This is the halfway point of the league. Every team has played every other team exactly once, 8 games on everybody's roster. So, we're going to take this opportunity halfway through season 1 to see how everybody's feeling, see what might be coming up. We'll get all of that and more for you in about 5 minutes, give or take. So please, enjoy the music in the meantime.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, for a super exciting segment. We're going to be spending a little time with each owner, just asking them a little bit about how their season's been going, how they're feeling about the future going forward. And starting off here, we have Calvin, the owner of the DK Wilds. Calvin, how you doing?
Um, you know, we're trucking on. Uh, a little bit tough not to feel dejected after the last couple games we've had, but if anything, the Wilds, we got spirit, so here we are.
Absolutely. And and you did just mention it after a an extremely hot start to the season, you do seem to have cooled off a bit. Is there anything you think you want to adjust going into the second half of the season? Perhaps regain a bit of that spark that you felt the first few weeks.
So my plan is, I have no plan. Really, I'm new to this game of baseball, and a lot of us are on the Wilds are new to baseball. Um, and indeed, some of us are new to life as well, like Baby Luigi. Just sort of conceptualizing the world as he is conceptualizing baseball out there. So, um, I don't have a plan. I try to live my life a quarter mile at a time, as it were, um, play by play, day by day. Um, and I don't really have a long-term plan. I just want to bring hot baseball to families worldwide. I think with the Wilds.
Hey, that's a hell of a strategy you got there, and it's been interesting to see how it has paid off and not paid off in certain spots for you. I do have to ask, as you've been someone who has tinkered a lot with his lineup every single week. Some of them have been some pretty interesting choices, and I think it's kind of on
Interesting in
everyone's
quotes.
minds. What
Interesting in quotes.
interesting in quotes, perhaps. It's on everyone's mind. I want you to walk me through the process of choosing to bat DK ninth in today's order.
Um, man, my thought process was I had all my good guys at the front of the lineup, and then you'd get to the back of the lineup, and we'd be throwing. So I thought, why not move my guys who don't hit balls very much to the front and my good guys to the back. So if anyone gets lucky and takes some bases, maybe Donkey Kong can hit them in or something. Uh, I'm being told, I'm getting the vibe that this was an ill-advised choice.
It certainly goes against conventional knowledge. But hey, we'll have to see sort of how it ends up working out for you moving forward. And I guess so. One other thing, sort of taking it back a little bit, we've talked about your past few games, some struggles, but before the first game ever started, when you were in the drafting phase of this league, right, you drafted a team that had a ton of chemistry. Was that what you were looking to do going into this draft? Or like, what was your thought process, through your picks?
So, like I mentioned, I'm pretty new to the game of baseball, and indeed, especially Mario's Super Sluggers baseball. My only thought going in was I want Donkey Kong, and then I got him, and it was kind of hard to puzzle out where to go from there. So what better thing to do than bring in Diddy, bring in Dixie, right? And I quickly realized I think this wasn't just a baseball team. This was a family. Um, and I think that's what Wilds, what we're all about with the Wilds. It's family that we keep close. Win or lose, um, you always have your teammates to fall back on, especially after 3 game runs like this past one. Um, just kind of on a losing streak, but afterwards, Me and the apes, we always go out. We get some frosties, some ices, and talk it out.
And that's really beautiful, and I really hope that that is going to keep morale high going into the second half of the season. Uh, and as we sort of get ready to move on, any final comments, things you're excited about for the second half of the season, matchups you're looking forward to, anything like that?
Well, I can tell you, I'm looking forward to seeing the rookies again, maybe sometime on the mound, as it were. Um, we had a white hot game the other week, um, and you know that's all I really care about is if I can get in there, if we can get in there and just improve that we're not just another bunch of apes from the jungle. We're a team. We're here. Like we some people say they've been saying all over the tabloids. I see it in the New York Post and stuff. Oh, the owner of the Wilds, he's mild. They're too kind. They're too soft. But I think people mistake that for throwing in the towel. But we're here to play ball. Damn it! So more baseball coming, no matter what, win or lose, baby.
I think that's a wonderful attitude to have, and I hope it serves you well going into the second half of the season. So, best of luck to you and your Wilds. Thank you so much for taking this chance to talk with us. And now, Christian, do you want to take on our second guest?
Yeah, I can. Let me just close things up for a minute while we sort it out. We'll be right back. Alrighty. Yes. All right. So I am here, and we've got next up on the docket August, owner of the rookies. August, same question to you, same question going to everybody. How you feeling about the season? How's it going?
Well, I feel great after last week, not so much after this week. You know, let me answer that question proper honestly. The rookies are a team that really thought it found its footing from the get-go until we took a proper look at ourselves. And it has taken the entire first half of the season, I think, to finally find our footing. And putting this week aside, I genuinely think we found something that resembles footing. I'm excited going into the back half with a lot more confidence than I did going into the front.
What does finding your footing look like? Talk to me a little bit about the process of figuring that out.
It has taken 9 weeks of putting characters in different spots or looking at stats to figure out who properly belongs where. For example, I genuinely thought I had good pitchers in Baby Peach and Madge, and I still think I do, but it's really, really nice knowing even if they don't have as good of showings a lot of the time, I do have really viable other options to put on a mound.
Yeah, I think so. You know, Bowser Jr., Goomba, K. Rool, their performances definitely mixed, right? But none of them unpassable, I would say.
We've seen worse.
We've seen worse is right. And you're actually getting into a little bit of what I wanted to ask you. So, you know, the rookies are kind of at the top of what I would lovingly call the riffraff. A lot of teams very tight right now, you know, 3-3, 4-4, 3-4, 4-3. Do you think going into the back half you're likely to see yourself finally pulling ahead now?
Um, it's hard to say for sure. I definitely think I can. I think I have a good chance against. I don't want to call them the riffraff like you called them. I think
I mean,
I think it's better to say in the back half as we play more games. We have 4 teams that have played very equal games of baseball so far, but as we start switching up stadiums, as people start really locking in strategies, I do think we're going to start seeing some definite spread between those 4 teams. I think I have a fair shot against all of them. I kind of felt like you last week tonight against the Bows. This game really was a coin flip. It could have gone either way. The Bows are very much capable of playing bad games, and tonight just wasn't it.
well, I have a feeling I might know what you're thinking about then when I ask, but can you tell me, is there a rematch in particular you're really looking to see in the second half?
The Knights.
Wow, okay. You don't want to split the season, huh?
Screw you.
All right, all right. Hey, Zach and I gave you some
Um,
flack in ours, so whatever.
oh my God. I heard that game. I was getting flack even as I was winning. Actually,
right.
I'm offended that the Monsters are one of the only teams I lost to. No, I'll give you this since you hinted at it. The Bows rematch really does sound nice. I think the stadium got in the way a lot tonight. I think my team was performing exactly as they expected, but they can't perform well and with all these hazards around. So a good rematch will be nice. A good change of scenery will be nice, and we'll just have to hope.
All right. Well, hey, I know I ham it up. I know I'm a little bit of a jackass, but I love you and I'm happy you're here with us. So thank you for
You too. You too.
joining up. Thanks for being part of the league. I'm going to let you go now, and we'll have Iris talking to somebody else in just a minute.
All right, I am here joined by one of our 3 Zachs. We've got Wes Zach here,
Hey, how you
own,
doing?
owner of the Monarchs. Zach, how have you been feeling about your season overall thus far?
Oh, great. Told everyone good job tonight. Sent them home early. Not much to talk about. Been having a little bit of a drink or two myself. But feeling good. Another one as it usually goes. But we're figuring it out. Get a lot of flack for this team. People, give us a little bit of a hard time on finding any identity, but I just think they're jealous. I just think they're jealous. But you know how it goes.
Yeah, that may be true. So I think probably one of or really the most notable event of the season for you was that trade with Cowboy Zach sending
Oh,
over Wiggler. Uh, what convinced you to take that trade? What were you
I
looking for out of it?
love Wiggler. Wiggler's an old-time friend of mine. Goes way back. Goes way back and was earnest with me and said I had enough. I'm sick of it. You know what? I can't ever deny a friend that. And Holdsworth, great friend of mine too. Talked it out. Thought it would be good for a little switcheroo from me to you. And then also Zach didn't want Pianta, and I thought we could use a little tropical haze for our team. So I gave away Cerulean Yoshi away. Wasn't really giving it to the team in the way I wanted. That Wiggler was. I will miss Wiggler, but Ellsworth's got it. Maybe, hopefully, she hasn't been putting in the work I've been looking for, but they'll do it. They'll do it when they need to do it. And that synergy, I think, helps a lot with, Toadette and Peach, and, really, really gets the stuff moving.
Yeah, I really appreciate the optimism, and I do hate to point it out, but you are unfortunately sort of alone right now at the bottom of the pack on the leaderboards. What adjustments, if any, are you looking to make entering the second half of the season?
Honestly, anything. I just think we all need to love and talk with each other a little more, just a little bit. In coaching sessions, I just kind of let them do their own thing. I don't, I believe in open coaching. I don't think they need me. I think they know what's best for them, and they don't talk to each other because of that. So maybe I can maybe I can get them to do little exercises together, figure out really what's working with those synergies. The team chemistry, if you will. I think we've got a pretty strong defense, but our offense, we gotta really rethink that. Funky's giving it her all. I'll give her that, but ain't enough with the rest of them. She's homesick. I know she's homesick.
I really hope those bats are able to come around as you enter the second half of this season. Best of luck to you on your remaining games. I'll ask you as well, is there anyone rematch that you are the most excited for?
You know what? In all honesty, I'm over here. I'm leaning closer. You know what? In all honesty, I'm kind of excited to fight the Bows. I think Wiggler has a lot of team power that she's shown off really excellently, as well as kind of a lot of pressure from both Birdo and Yoshi. I think that'll be a good run back whenever we can do that run back, and hopefully figure out a lot of kinks that came up from our initial game of that. I'm also highly interested in fighting the Fireballs again, because for a dominating force, I think being able to smash and smear that into the ground will be exciting.
I appreciate the confidence, and I wish you the best of luck. I hope you are able to rise up in those standings, really come together, and show what you're capable of as a team.
Yeah, of
Zach,
course, of course.
thank you so much for joining us. And now we're going to go back to Christian with our next guest.
Bye-bye.
And I am here with Nate, owner of the Wario Muscles, good friend of mine. Happy to have you here, Nate. Tonight notwithstanding, how you feeling about the season?
Well, I think I'm actually feeling pretty good about the season, even tonight withstanding, because look, it was an absolute it was a bomb, I will say. But that's what we expect from, number 1 and 2 of the league, the Knights and the Fireballs. They put up good showings every time. We can only aspire to them. Not saying that we aren't going to get there, but, you guys really do just, you set the bar.
We try. I appreciate it, but it's interesting that you say that, because what I was gonna say is I put a lot of work into this lineup, into this league. I really did my homework. I came in with a plan, but I don't think there's anybody here who does their homework like you do. You're kind of the simulation king. And I wanted to ask a little bit about what that experience has been like running these sims in the first half. Is there anything that it's taught you in particular? Any changes that you made from that you feel like really helped you when game day came around?
Oh yeah. No, definitely coming into this, I had been familiar with Mario Baseball, but had only ever been, just interested in playing it with, my brother and my friends casually, at a young age. So coming into this league and, actually having to learn about chemistry and learning how the lineups really worked, was very interesting. So the simulations really provided a opportunity for me to get some theories formulated, work it through, realize what didn't work, and come to a conclusion about the best way to accentuate our strengths while minimizing on our weaknesses.
Do you think you finally got it all figured out? Do you think you might be able to let yourself rest a little bit coming into the second half?
I was discussing this with a couple of the other owners, actually. I think from this point on, I'm mostly going to be relying on past data and, just like spur of the moment rather than just going, sim after sim, because I've fought every team once. And that combined with watching them play other teams has given me a lot of insight. And I don't really think there's that much to be gained from staring into the random number generator for too long, besides from going insane.
They say if you stare into the random number generator long enough, it stares back.
It does. No, it does. The random number generator is why I was confident in putting Wario on the mound for so long, given the fact that he has a high pitching stat and all. But I won't get too into that. I won't I don't want to grouse.
Understandable. He's still been a good shortstop. You can't be mad. He's a good shortstop. He's a good batter. He's not the worst player you could have. But I do
muscle.
Oh, go ahead.
Muscle does not just mean, behind the plate, an arm, yeah, that's necessary. But you gotta have muscle to swing that bat. You gotta have muscle to get under those balls. So he's doing what he has to.
I'm glad you found a spot for him. I am. And I have to ask, now that you feel like this team has the identity it needs, who you got your eye on coming into the second half?
So I have a couple that I'm eyeing. The two at the top are the Rookies and the Monarchs. Both earlier game. Well, the Rookies actually were a later one, but both two losses that I really think could have swung the other way had the team had a solid identity earlier and had the kinks in our lineup been ironed out. They, I don't know. Everything's working out the way it should now. So I think that given another chance, they will be able to show a different side of themselves.
Yeah, well, you're moving, I think, low middle of the pack after tonight, but playoffs are not at all out of reach for the Muscles, so I'm hoping you're right for your sake and that you've got it all figured out. And of course, I want to thank you for being here tonight, for being part of this league. It's been great to have you. It's been great to see somebody putting in, honestly, what feels like almost as much work as I do every week on this.
I'm just glad to be a part of this kind of thing. It's wonderful. Thank you for doing it.
Hey, anytime. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Season 2. But for right now, I'll let you go, and we'll be talking to another one of our owners. Or perhaps, if I have my little schedule right here, a very special other guest. I'm going to bring Iris and them on in short order.
All right, I am joined now by Autumn. Our only interview with a non-owner. Instead, we have a player here, typically in the outfield. Autumn, how have you been feeling about how your season's been going?
Tell you, Iris. Tonight, I've been hearing rumblings lately about something of a Kongathon going down in the DK jungle. So I came out here tonight, and you know what I did? I put an end to that Bananarama. Because you know what? When the fucking Knights are out on the field, you play banana. So keep that in mind.
Sheesh. Now, I know you have a bit of a reputation as a player who loves to talk shit. Do you feel like that comes through in your games? Like, do you feel like you are able to intimidate opposing pitchers? And is that part of your success? Is that part of your strategy? Or are you just doing it for the love of the game?
Really, I just like to get out there because, the commissioner, he in particular, because you here, and I'm putting runs like the rookies in their place. So next season, I can tell you what. I'm telling you, the rookies, next time, the kid gloves are coming off. I just want to, put that out there, let you know. It's not going to be like that next time. I'm going to be awake that time.
Sheesh. So I guess with that, usually we ask it a little bit later, but since it came up, do you feel like the rookies are the matchup you're most excited to have a rematch for in the second half of the season?
No. I'm looking for a much more exciting game than that, Iris. Personally, I've had my eyes on the Flowers this whole season. I've been looking at that lineup: Monty Mole, Blooper, Daisy. These players I see some real, some talent in. They haven't been living up to it. So Rhiannon, better bring your A game this season. Rating on a curve.
Well, the gauntlet has absolutely been thrown. I guess other than that, just how does it feel being the only sentient player in this league, the only me who is not also an owner of a team and is able to focus just on playing the game of baseball?
Personally for me, I don't want to talk down to my teammate because, PD Piranha, he's a real cool guy. He's a real funny guy. He's got a lot to say. You can see him laughing out on the field. He's a riot in the dugouts. I wouldn't want to call him sentient just because he's a plant. We got Brown Critter. We got the Toads. They're real fun guys. So, I just want to say that I don't think that I'm above any member of my team. But this next season, I am looking to my batting average above PD Piranha's.
Well, best of luck with that, Autumn. Any other closing comments? Anything that you're excited for going into the second half?
Yeah. If you're coming to the Knights' home field at Louis Mansion, you better be clicking in your boots. You don't stand a ghost of a chance.
That's because she is a ghost. Well, thank you so much, Autumn. That has been an illuminating experience.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I think with this, we're going to be moving back over to Christian with our next guest.
One. And it's me again. Hello. That was... I mean, look, you all know why I drafted Autumn, and that was most of it right there out for you. I'm so glad to have picked up the spare me. It turned out better than I ever could have hoped. But I am here with someone that Autumn felt the need to call out. It's Rhiannon, owner of the Flowers. Rhiannon, how you feeling? How's that, you ready for that challenge?
Hi, so nice to be here, and I just want to thank Autumn for her comments in that last interview. She's been, one of my most vocal critics, but also one of my strongest proponents. I think she really believes in the team. Of course, when we're not, facing each other on the field, I know she's got a real competitive streak out there, and I appreciate that. So, thanks to Autumn. I'm feeling good this week. I think we're back. I think we're back on the field. Had a few kind of heartbreaking ties over the last few weeks after really hard-fought games. But this week we were able to put a solid performance back out there, and I think we're really bringing the momentum back into our field.
If it makes you feel any better, I think those ties hurt Iris and Cowboy Zach more than they hurt you. But it's interesting. I never expected to see a 7 inning game successfully go to 10 with no extra scores in those three, and you've managed to do it twice. The Flowers moved to 3-3-2. There's no less predictable team, I think, than what you've got. What is it like being the owner of a team that can just do anything on any given week?
I mean, it's exciting. I think a lot of our potential owes to just the camaraderie among our team members. We're a bit of a motley crew out there. Bit of a mix up with the draft. But with guys like Yellow Toad and Yoshi out there on the same team as Magic Koopa, those guys have had some friction and some rivalry in the past. But I think over the season they've really grown to. Magic Koopa's really shown his reliable nature, and they're starting to trust each other. And especially with a foreign player out there, we got Blue Critter on the team, someone who's not as known in this league, but new to the league, and has really turned out to be a kind of linchpin of the team. Bringing those players together. Surprisingly, just bringing the brotherhood and the sisterhood and the bringing the love out onto the field that we all share for this game and for each other. So I think my team is feeling strong, and I think I'm really happy to be a part of it and able to lead these players.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Lynchpin is right. Blue Critter, one of the top 5 home run hitters coming into this week tonight. Certainly a very noticeable player. All of the critters in this league, really excellent picks. You're always happy to have one. Do you feel like then, we haven't seen a lot of lineup shifting from your team compared to some of the others? You feel like you've really found your identity, you're ready for the back half?
Yeah, well, having moved the star player over to Blue Critter, I think that's really given a little boost to his play out there, and especially in the batting lineup, I think he's able to drive those runs home, and I think that's really important for us. I've made a few changes to the pitching lineup, played around with that, and I think I'm happy with keeping Magic Koopa in the shortstop position as much as possible. I think going into the second half of the season, if I make any changes, it's probably going to be looking at my batting lineup because that's something I haven't really changed so far. But I think looking at some of these defenses that we're seeing from the other teams, I think it needs. I'm going to be watching some replays of the older games and seeing what I can do to maybe put a few more runs over the line.
Hey, absolutely. And of course, I want to know from everybody, is there a replay in particular that you are champing at the bit to get to in the second half?
I mean, the Knights are the team to beat, right? Just looking at the stats here, it's pretty overwhelming just looking at the runs against. They do not allow runs. Your team has an extremely strong defensive lineup. And I'd really like to find a strategy that can kind of put a crack in that. So I think I'm gonna be looking at your team and trying to find something that trying to find a strategy that can maybe give us a little bit of an advantage there.
My unbiased opinion, go for the middle infield. Definitely our weak point.
Fair enough.
Alrighty, well, hey, great to have you. Happy that you're part of the league this year. Super excited to have everybody in the inaugural set of NSLB Season 1. And I very much look forward to what the Flowers are going to do in the second half of games here, because I'm not even going to pretend like I could make a guess at it. And that's what's so exciting about your team.
I'm excited too. I'll be here for the rest of the season. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Anytime, anytime.
All right, welcome back. I am here with Cowboy Zach, the owner of the Bird Oboes. Zach, how are you feeling about how your season's gone so far?
Good evening, Super Sluggers universe. I mean, there's been ups and downs. The beginning, I'll be quite honest, I have no idea. I had no idea what I was doing, and I really don't, even now to this day. But I think things are slowly, steadily becoming more understood, and we're getting there together as a team. And I kind of like what I'm seeing as of right now. Of course, last week's tie. Uh, Looking at the standings at that moment and then going straight into a tie was really not ideal for me, uh, especially after all the simulations that I had done for that particular week. Only seeing 2 or maybe 3 ties out of like 90 or so games. So in order for it to end up in such an unlikely circumstance was quite shocking at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did mention those simulations. You are the player in the league more than anyone else who has studied the tape, who has been tinkering around with your lineup and trying to figure out exactly the optimal way to play. How much do you feel like that has improved your record thus far in this league?
Well, it helps just to know whether or not I feel like a game is winnable, I guess. Um, it helps alleviate my nerves going into each match, I think, is mostly what it's for. But
Hmm.
it also, I did learn a few things about the characteristics of each stadium, uh, and what that allows me to do with my defensive formation. Um, so I find it quite enlightening to be able to run these simulations.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I love that, the time that you have put into this has paid off in some way.
I didn't run any for
Um,
this week though, so
mhm.
I just had a feeling that if I just ran the lineup that I've run I think the most games for, I might win. So thumbs up for that. It worked. You love to see that.
You love to see it.
You have Roki the star. Sometimes she just hits the ball, and then Goki comes in with the Mesats. Die 1,000 deaths. We cook. It's great.
Hell yeah. So I want to take it back to the draft. I think you are somebody who has some experience with superstars PvP, and I
Cursory
think that
experience.
maybe led you to perhaps fall into a couple traps in how you evaluated players.
Well, I want to say this. As the last true American cowboy, I believe in second chances. Let me see here. Mario Superstars Baseball. That game came out in 2005. It's been over 10 years. I wanted to give these players another chance to shine on, under those lights. And these players very close to my heart, even though I've only really started playing Mario Superstars Baseball in the last couple of years, like year or two. And I can see now that in this new stage of the Super Sluggers universe, these players, they've got minds of their own. They star hits, these are some of the players that I really loved their star hits on this GameCube game. The Falcon Pop, the Weird Ball, Yoshi's Egg Ball, they're all really great. They've really just fallen out of favor in the minds of these players. And only when they probably don't even really need to be using them do they decide now might be a good time to throw out an egg ball and get a single when they could have just well, they can't hit the ball. Yoshi, Captain Yoshi, he doesn't really do anything most of the time. Only when he really feels like it might be funny. I think he's a bit of a jokester, that man. But it's okay. Birdo, I mean, she switched up her style. I don't know what the weird egg is doing this time. Everybody just super dives at it, and it doesn't do anything. It's just the biggest waste of a star I've ever seen in my entire life. Wiggler decides to hit star hits when all I ever want to see him do is slap at the ball. I tell them these things before basically every single simulation. They never listen to me. But sometimes we can come away with the win, and that's all you can really hope for.
So mentioning Wiggler there, we heard Wes Zach's perspective about the trade earlier. One of, I believe, only 2 trades in this season. What were you sort of looking for, and how do you feel about that trade in retrospect?
Well, after hearing Wes Zach's press conference, it confirmed my suspicion that I probably could have just traded a single player, could have just traded Toadsworth for Wiggler, and gotten away with maybe the greatest heist in the century. But I just wanted a better pitcher. I like pitching in these games as a player. Of course, I'm not doing that, and after hundreds of simulations, I've come to the realization that maybe pitching really doesn't matter at all. You just need middle infielders that are giant. But still, it was nice to see Wiggler get 2 strikeouts in a single game, which is very impressive for Super Sluggers players, at the very least.
Absolutely. I think the trade's gone really well for you, and I think it has really turned you into one of the teams to beat going into the second half of the season. And on that note,
every game.
on that note, who are you most looking forward to the rematch with?
I'm looking forward to beat everyone that I already beat, because that would be pretty sweet. I guess I'd like a rematch with you, and I would hopefully go 2-1 again. Maybe I'd win, but 2-1 is the goal. Because that would just be really funny, I think.
That would be really funny.
2-1 on Mario Stadium the first time was really funny. I mean, everyone else is making that stadium look like a place where you can actually hit the ball, but it didn't look that way the first time, did it? I don't know. I guess I'd like to beat Calvin, since he beat me so badly the very first game, where I still had that old man, that old individual, Toadsworth, elderly individual. God, he used to be so good. They used to be so good at sports. What happened? How could they have fallen so far? It doesn't make any sense. And now all of their sons got high trajectory, just over the middle infield every single time, singles, doubles, home runs from these mushroom-headed freaks. I don't understand.
Yeah, I guess it just happens with age, maybe, but it's been good.
They were already old and they were good. What happened? They stopped playing baseball for 20 years and this is what happens? Yeah, that makes sense. My bad. Well, I'm also looking forward to hopefully sucking less as a player going into the next half of the season. That'd be nice.
Hell yeah. Best of luck to you in that regard. Best of luck to you in the second half of the season. Thank you so much for joining me with an interview. Now I believe we are potentially going to have the 2 commentators take turns interviewing each other.
Right on.
So I will leave it up to you. We are unfortunately missing East Zach tonight, as he did have another commitment, but I actually did manage to record an interview with him. If you'd like, I can give everybody a bit of a break and play that, and then you and I can kind of close things out.
That works for me.
Alrighty, well, if you folks give me just a minute, I'll pull this one up, and Eastzach and I are gonna retroactively talk about the Monsters, who had a bye this week, but we've seen plenty of them. Easier than trying to run a whole new program, by which I mean an ancient program, because Audacity is ancient.
Yeah.
All right then, so we're gonna get started here with one interview. I'm here with Eastzach, owner of the Bowser Monsters. Unfortunately, going to have to leave a bit early tonight, going out for something more important than pretend baseball. Now, I couldn't imagine what that could be, folks, but he insisted, so we'll let him have it. I'm just gonna go over a couple of quick questions with you, same ones I'm gonna go over everybody else for the most part, and we'll slot you in somewhere at the end of the night, and when you watch it back, you can decide if you liked how it went. I won't be updating them, though. No corrections, so everything you say is finalized on record, but at the very least, I won't have time before the league starts to splice this and make you say anything flattering about me.
Oh, no YouTube poops.
Man, if somebody YTPs the NSLB, that's going to be a whole new art form. I don't know if I'd be honored or insulted or both. But I'll keep it quick here with you. Same with everybody else. I guess the first one for everybody is how you feeling? How's the season? It's been a tough first half for the Monsters. Performance tonight by other teams not likely to affect your position at the bottom of the pack, but you're not real far behind.
Yeah, I mean, the Monsters, I feel like have done not nearly as well as I was expecting to. For the first half of this season, I feel like they are definitely capable of doing a lot better than what they've shown. And I'm not sure if part of it is, well, no, definitely part of it is I just personally have not played the game before. So I am not as familiar with all the different stats and everything that they can affect. But even barring that, I still feel like that they definitely could be doing better, and I'll be trying to figure out how to bring that out of them for the second half of the season.
Well, that's actually something I wanted to talk to you specifically about as the owner of the Monsters, because you've probably gotten annoyed from hearing it, because Iris and I both say it, but it's true. The Monsters really are kind of a team where the record is betraying the potential that we know they have. So I'm curious if you could speak a little bit to what you might be doing in the second half. I mean, don't give up too much of the game if you want, but if you think maybe sometimes it just comes down to bad RNG, or if you have plans to join the team of people who run 8 simulations for every batting configuration they can think of, or just trying to watch some more content, do your homework a little bit. Is there any big changes we can expect in the second half, or are you just waiting to see if the dice finally like you?
So I definitely feel like a large part about why we have not been doing as well as we could have has been RNG. I, in particular, have noticed that with the way my batters have been batting, a lot of our balls get caught by the shortstop. So I'm going to potentially be trying to kind of mix up my batting lineup a little bit to see if I can get it so that we don't have so many batters that tend to like to hit the ball toward that area in a row. Additionally, I may be switching out who I have at shortstop. I have felt like one of the biggest boons to a lot of the other teams have been having a really strong shortstop, particularly in the critters. So potentially switching that out to see if I could have a better shortstop as well, because there have definitely been times where the ball has gone through that area and the shortstop hasn't done anything. Likewise with second base, I'm hearkening back to that one game where Magic Koopa just decided he didn't want to do anything.
Yeah, that really is an
But-
RNG kind of decision, isn't it?
Yes.
He did okay last week, at least.
Yes, he did. But so I definitely feel like, it is a combination of how I've been running the team and RNG, but I can't help but feel like it's almost. I feel like the blame is at least equal, which is frustrating when it's equal parts RNG and me.
Yeah, but that's good because it means there's at least something you can do, right? And it's so funny to hear you say that you're realizing shortstop is a huge position, because if Iris were here, she'd be telling you it's almost like shortstop is the most important defensive position in a lot of baseball. And yeah, that middle infield really everybody's very reliant on it. And I think you've got some pieces that can work when they happen to be in the mood.
Yes, and I probably won't be doing any sort of simulations for this season, at least not in the coming weeks, just because, well, to be quite frank, I don't want to set it up on a computer that I'm not planning on using for very much longer. But once I do have that new one set up, I might be running some simulations, so
Well,
we'll see.
speaking of, right, one more thing before I let you go. I'm curious, who having played your first 8 games of 16, who are you looking most forward to in the rematch?
I'm not sure this will excite you to hear this, but I definitely feel like the Luigi Knights, because I am not one to like being shut out, and they definitely could have done a bit better. So I am excited to actually put up some points against the Luigi Knights, and who knows, maybe even win it.
It's certainly possible. I'm not gonna pretend it isn't. And look, you're not gonna hear any pushback from me that shutouts can be kind of annoying, August. But you and I'll give him crap for that in due time. So, hey, I appreciate you stopping in with us. Enjoy whatever it is you're doing tonight. If you want to put it on record, you can remind me. Otherwise, I'll just tell everybody to wish you luck.
Oh, I mean, I'm hanging out with some friends that we're just all going out to get dinner.
Oh, sweet. Well, enjoy that then, and hopefully, when this is all done, you can point them back here, and we'll get a couple more audience members. Who knows?
I'll try to. A lot of them are kind of lame, if I'm being honest. But
Man, ditching me to hang out with people you admit are lame. Well, you're a saint. You're doing it for them.
yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thanks much, Zach. Any shout outs before I cut you off?
I mean, go Luigi Knights tonight, and yeah.
Flattery will get
I'll
you everywhere.
shout you out. Yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks,
Maybe
boss.
you can bump up the RNG for me.
We'll see what I can do. I might forget that you don't get 2 stars. We'll see. All right. Well, hey, if you're here, Zach, watching now, thanks again for pre-recording with me. Happy to have you. We will be having one more press conference come the come the end of the season here. So maybe we'll get to talk a little bit with East Zach live. But definitely, I still think the Monsters are a team to watch. They're behind, but they're not that far behind. But speaking of teams to watch, we've got 2 people who haven't really gotten a chance to talk yet. And I know one of them's Iris. Iris, mind if I ask you how the season's gone?
I am having a pretty good season. I'll admit that, it does hurt a little bit to not be on top of the standings, but I am more than happy with second place, and I'm happy that I'm in a position exiting the first half of the season where I do control my own destiny. If I win out, then I will be the first seed. How likely that is to happen remains to be seen. I'll admit, sort of the beginning of the season was a little bit scary, dropping game 1 to you, followed by, I believe, my next game was, yeah, so I went bye, lose to you, and then only winning 2-1 against Cowboy Zach, which obviously a win is a win, but I knew that my players were absolutely capable of scoring, and I was getting a little scared for a bit that I was underrating chemistry, but it's been nice to see the Bats come more than alive.
Yeah, I mean, the Knights are really a win is a win team, but you definitely drafted with the intent of some big scores. Maybe not the kind of thing we saw tonight every week, but more in that direction for sure. And actually, I did want to ask you a little bit about the draft, because you've talked a little bit about this before. I don't know if ever on stream, but certainly to me and maybe to some of the others, that your strategy when it came to the draft for season one was very simple. Just pick the strongest player that was still available and worry about piecing them together later. I mean, it seems to be working out for you, but do you expect that you might have to change that come season two?
Yeah, absolutely. So a call that I sort of made going into the draft was, I knew that I was going to be drafting alongside a lot of people who aren't as familiar with this game, who maybe hadn't looked up some of the ways that CPU League can end up working out. And so I felt that people were going to pretty severely over and underrate certain players. And I mean, that prediction absolutely came true, as I was able to snatch up all three bros. I was able to snatch up a critter late enough that I could star him. And so those four players, I mean, that's a team right there. Uh, Going into future seasons, as more people are able to prioritize those real high value targets, I think I am going to start caring about chemistry a little bit more. Mario was certainly not the captain I wanted to see the most going into this. I was pretty close to being last pick and would have actually preferred to be last pick, to be perfectly honest, because then at least I could have drafted a PD, but I cannot complain at all with how my draft went. Going into future seasons, yeah, I'll focus on chemistry a little bit more, almost certainly. But I'm really happy with how this team came together.
It's funny to hear you say that, because honestly, Mario has the best chemistry of any captain, but the Fireballs just aren't a team really built around that right now. But, maybe next go round, you'll wind up with him again and you'll be much better off for it, and I won't have to commission any new art.
That would be something. Yeah, I like you said, it was just kind of this awkward thing of I wasn't really looking for chemistry, and Mario is a captain where his main appeal is that chemistry. So it's just he feels like the odd man out on his own team, which is kind of an interesting spot to be in.
It certainly is. It certainly is. But I'm happy for you that it's worked out, even if I'm not happy for me that it's worked out. And I must ask, I can think of two answers, but maybe I'll hear something new. Who's your target for the second half?
I mean, I'm not gonna front. I want first place. Right. As much as I have told you before, I don't think on stream, but I've told you before, I don't think the difference between first and second place for the purposes of the playoffs is going to be that big of a deal. But, I am somebody who believes that regular season records are often better indicators of the quality of a team than playoff performance. And so I would really love to just be able to have an uncontested first place. And if I am going to get that, it will almost certainly need to come from beating you.
I promise not to make it
obviously, it would be nice to not tie or lose to Rhiannon, because I don't want to have negative records against anybody. But yeah, it's the Knights.
Understandable, very understandable. And hey, I've said it to everybody here, but to you, special mention. I appreciate you're joining this league. I particularly appreciate you being on the mic, especially as these last couple of weeks my throat has been killing me. I could not imagine taking on all of these duties single-handedly. I don't think I'd be speaking most Thursdays if it weren't for you. So I appreciate you for that alone.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a lot of fun to commentate baseball. It's cool when you have fantasy baseball with random players and you could just make shit up, pulling back the curtains a bit. But it's a lot of fun, and I've really enjoyed doing it with you. And I appreciate you inviting me to become co-commissioners with you.
You can't be telling me that the Baby Luigi ice skating lessons arc wasn't canon.
See, the thing about history is we write the canon as it happens.
Fascinating stuff, isn't it? Well, hey, you mentioned
Absolutely.
I kind of wasn't expecting myself to be a part of this. I feel like I've been outspoken enough that my soul, my bucket of salad has been pretty laid bare, but you mentioned you wanted to talk to me?
Yeah, I think it is great to hear from all of the owners, and that includes you. Obviously you are in first place with an extremely strong record, only having dropped one game. So I have to imagine you're feeling pretty good about how this season's gone.
It I won't lie. I was so ready for the draft. Draft night came up, and I had a notebook. I had a whole list. I was like, here's my potential three-player outfields. Here are the high-value target hitters. Here's the pitchers. Here's how many of this player I need. Here's how many of this player I need. And then the draft came around, and I didn't do everything I wanted. I didn't do nothing that I wanted. I didn't do everything I wanted, though. I think I let my nerves get to me. I think I worried so much about not having any bad players, and we don't, that I didn't get enough really good players. But one very high value trade, and honestly, Autumn's shown up in a way that I never could have imagined. I won't be surprised if she's not an owner next season if we just see a me go first round purely for the morale boost, because I won't pretend that's not a big part of it. It's Green Shy Guy, Green Toad have loved to have Autumn in the outfield, and I think the rest of the team too is really grateful for the energy that she brings, especially when I can be such a worrywart. But look, 7-1, I'm so happy. We do 7-1 again, we're playoffs easy. We do 6-2. If we even go 5-3 for the next set, I'm sure we'll be fine on playoffs. So we're not going to rest on our laurels. I have been making changes even when I've been in a comfortable position. I'm not afraid to do it. But yeah, we're a team that's got the best defense in the league, and I plan to win on that.
Awesome. I'm really glad to hear it. And it's really great to hear you go into that process. And talking about having the best defense in the league, especially with you having Luigi as your captain and therefore being on an extremely pitcher-friendly park. During the draft, were you trying to prioritize defense over everything else?
Yeah, I definitely was. I mean, even there's no guide out there. There's no meta-analysis, no tier list that doesn't tell you if you can get Petey, get Petey. Luigi was dead last pick of captains. I guess fitting for him, right? And I am willing to be honest and admit that I was not particularly excited about Luigi. He's not my least favorite Mario character or anything, but he's Luigi. Everybody loves Luigi. It feels a little safe, if I can say that. But, I picked up Petey quick. I picked up Autumn quick for chemistry. And Green Magic Koopa actually was my third. And then I drafted a chem outfield, and then my last two picks were just another chem outfield, and I felt like I really did kind of overvalue defense over offense. But again, it's worked out. We are not the highest scoring team in this league, but we don't need to be. A win is a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've demonstrated that better than literally any other team in the league. So then I think the only other thing to ask, just as with everyone else, and I think there are two pretty obvious answers here. Who are you most looking forward to rematch in the second half?
I'm a petty man. Rookies, that was a coin toss. You got lucky. Once it's at the mansion, forget it, pal.
Awesome. Well, I will be excited to see that rematch. And with all that out of the way, that is, we have now heard from every single owner.
Yeah,
Hopefully that was exciting for everyone, was illuminating, helped you get to know the people that you watch week in and week out, strive for greatness here at No Slugger Left Behind. Christian, you got any closing remarks for us?
well, as always, since I like to do it, I'm gonna let everybody know. We're not taking a break or anything, Next week is another plain old week of baseball, week 10. It's gonna be running week 1 back, but home teams now away teams, which means in game 1, week 10, the Nate Muscles, looking to get back on top after a tough week, are going to the Knights. It's definitely going to be one they're going to have to prep for. The Calvin Wilds going to the Cowboy Zach Bows. August Rookies going to the Ice Garden to play the West Sac Monarchs. The Rhiannon Flowers will be at Bowser Castle. And that leaves you to take a bit of a break.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll enjoy my time off, chilling out, maxing, and relaxing. Although, of course, I'll be here in the press box as always. And with all that, I think that's going to do it from us here at No Slugger Left Behind. Be sure to follow the channel if you want notifications on when we go live and play our games. We'll be right back here next week, next Wednesday, as Christian said, back to our standard starting time of 7 Eastern. Join the Discord if you feel so inclined and would like to chat with us. And with everything else out of the way, we'll see you next time.
Please drive home safely.